I almost did it just to be funny to curse in the first episode. It's like, wouldn't it be funny if I swore anyway? All right. We should be...
It says we've been live for 9 seconds. No one is here.
Okay.
I don't think we told anyone about this.
We did not tell
Hold
anyone.
on.
I only just got the stream pop up now, so also
There it is. All right.
Done.
And you're gonna blue sky it? You don't need me
Blue
to?
sky it, yeah.
I'll retweet
Perfect.
it to make it
And
the
I'm
second
gonna
thing I posted
repost.
since telling Red her pizza was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on that repost. Refreshing the feed. I'm plugged in, guys.
It is definitely not.
I'm locked in. I'm in.
I'm in, hacker voice. I think it's funnier if you say hacker voice, you know, than actually
You're so
attempting to
right.
do
Yeah. Hacker voice, I'm in.
I'm in, hacker voice, you know.
You get there, Cyan? Is it just because I'm doing you're doing the Mario Delfino Plaza music just to be like the sleep
Stress
paralysis
you out.
demon?
Just
Yeah.
stressing you out for fun.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I hope we're all having fun. I'm making loose plans to go get a bunch of pastries and then go to a dog park on Saturday.
Oh,
Are we all
hell
doing
yeah.
that plan?
Same dog park,
You
same
can.
time.
All of us in different cities are going to go to the same dog park in a different other city.
We all
Do you need to bring a
spawn
dog or
just
can
in,
you just
like-
go hang out?
What if we just like
You could, there's
all spawn in San Francisco at a dog park?
there's a dog park not far from one of my favorite breakfast places in Philly where you can just you can get yourself breakfast and then you can walk over and just look at the dogs in the dog park because there's this on-ramp to like the Schuylkill River walkway. It's this little like walking path and it's elevated to get to the pathway because you have to go over the train tracks. So if you go up on the ramp leading to the elevated park, you can look down upon the dog park and see all of the good boys all at once.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's pretty primo, actually. It's pretty, I can't recommend it enough if you find yourself in that area. If you find an on-ramp to the Schuylkill River Park, which happens to have a dog park next to it, congratulations, you've done it.
Fun fact, first you need to learn how to spell Schuylkill.
That is the hardest part.
Yeah.
And you'll never
does-
succeed.
it's not
I've
spelled
lived in
how
this
you
city
think
my
it
whole
would
life.
be.
I can't do it.
One does
I
not
can say it,
simply
which is
spell
different than a lot of
Schuylkill.
people.
No, certainly not.
Chat, I would like you all to give your best attempt to spell Schuylkill if you
Do
could. That
not
would be
look
really
it
nice
up.
for me, actually.
If you know
Yeah.
how
Don't
to
look it up.
spell
If
it
you
or you
Google
look
your-
it up, you're cheating.
Yes.
Yeah, this is, I want
And we
earnest
will
attempt.
know.
And then
Because
while
you'll get it
you're
right.
While you're spelling that, let us know if our audios are mostly balanced.
Someone
It was
said we're a little quiet.
We're a little quiet? Okay, well, I'm gonna be loud as fuck, boy.
No, no!
It's 3 a.m.
Wow, there's some good,
Just for you.
There's some good Schuylkills in the chat. There's some quality Schuylkills.
My dad is texting. What's going on in the family
Okay.
group chat?
Cyan is Blue's wife. Cyan is also chaotic. Have fun.
Oh.
Cool.
No, that's pretty good. It's a good meme, my dad.
Cool.
Okay, good job, Dad. All right.
Audio's very
Anyway, back
The,
to the
good,
stream.
the best thing is that all of these are, and I appreciate this, you are all doing very earnest attempts to spell Schuylkill, because reading them, I'm like, yeah, I guess I would pronounce that Schuylkill.
Okay, let's
This is
do-
great. I like this. I like this a lot for you guys. Thank you, chat.
Okay, I'm gonna bump Red and Indigo down.
Cannot hear Cat needs her own mic. You're so right.
Okay, this
Obviously, the cat is not.
should be
Ziggy,
better.
because Ziggy, like,
He's
no.
that man with the hard beak, 3 foot tall with a soft physique.
What?
It's in the chat. I didn't make that shit up.
I thought you were just saying that like out of the blue. I'm like,
No,
bro, you good?
The muses strike me. No, I am but a vessel for nonsense.
We have received our first donation.
have received.
Cyan, would you care to enlighten us as to why we are streaming today?
I was gonna say thank you to the person donating before we actually told them what they were donating to.
Thank you,
So-
Lieutenant, who's donated on many occasions before. I recognize that
Appreciate
username.
So our fundraiser today is for the Ehlers-Danlos Society. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen my 2 posts that I fell really, really behind on. But it is May, and May is EDS Awareness Month. So Ehlers-Danlos is a group of conditions where it's a genetic condition that basically your collagen is formed incorrectly. And what it can lead to is things such as easy bruising, hypermobility, hyperflexibility, soft skin, all these things. But there are also different types of EDS that are considered not just rare, but ultra rare. And as a result,
They come in silver foil and they're really hard to collect.
you know, but as a result,
it's
it can be really hard to raise money for these rare and ultra rare conditions. So the fundraiser today is for the Ehlers-Danlos Society, which supports both research and care for those with EDS, and also has some great, if any of you happen to be medical professionals on the stream, really, really great programs for medical professionals. A lot of them are free. But yeah, so basically we're just raising funds for that. If you don't know, I actually have EDS. Cleo is blocking the mic, so if we just got quieter, it's because of her fuzzy butt.
If we sound a lot better insulated, like there's no echo suddenly, world's quietest room ASMR.
I do have EDS. I have presumed hypermobile EDS. You have to do
Careful,
some
not
genetic...
again, not again.
I'm sorry. Yesterday I spilled tea all over the floor. You have to do genetic testing to determine subtypes of EDS. So I have presumed HEDS, or hypermobile EDS, which is the most commonly diagnosed of the EDSs. I also mentioned that May is EDS Awareness Month. It's also HSD Awareness Month, which is hypermobility spectrum disorders, a very similar condition that can be a bit broader. So either way, thank you all for your donations. We really appreciate any help you can give.
Thank you to Pen and Ink for the 20 as well.
Cleo,
what we think we're going to do for this stream is that every time we crack 1,000, we're going to do at least 5 minutes of me jumping into co-op to try to make Cyan's life more difficult.
Yeah, so I'm going to be playing today. We're playing Octodad, because what is more EDS coded than a person trying to act like a human while all their limbs are floppy as heck. Now, about Octodad, I've played Octodad exactly once. I've played co-op for 5 minutes, and I remember absolutely nothing except for that there's like a chef that tries to kill you.
There's a chef who wants you dead. He wants to turn you into sushi. This game came out in January of 2014. This was read in my senior year of college, and I played it, or senior year of high school, and I played it a bunch in my freshman year of college. This was like the party game that I busted out to show people, like, look at this funny, goofy thing. They also made Bugsnax, if you played Bugsnax on the PlayStation 5 when that came out.
Have you played Bugsnax?
No.
I was like, I don't think I've played it.
It is the body horror, like, speed train to, because they're bugs and they're food. It is a trip.
Oh, it's that thing.
Wait,
Yes.
they're bugs and they're eating each other?
A little bit, but we're not playing Bugsnax. We're playing Octodad, Deadliest Catch, where we are an octopus who is also a human father. So, Cyan, hit that X button and let's start this game.
That's the other thing.
Well,
For
before
those
I
of
get
you
to
who
the
have
game,
been
I
on...
actually want to...
Sorry, go ahead.
I just have a... this is a completely stupid joke. Octodad, Deadliest Catch. That's bad pun writing, because that's 2 instances of dad right next to each other. I feel like there's a better title somewhere. Like, I appreciate the Deadliest Catch play, but come on, guys, we got to step this up.
That is
Dad
completely...
to puss.
You gotta bring it around.
Oh, God. That's how he became a dad.
Okay. Bad.
It's called Deadliest Catch because they originally made this as a student game, and then they remade it as a full product, and then they distinguished it by naming it Deadliest Catch.
Cleo, you can't eat licorice.
Yo. All right, hit the button. Hit the button.
Yes, I was going to say, the other thing that you need to know about how this game is going to go is that the PlayStation is definitely Blue's console of choice. I know. The Nintendo console is a lot better. So it's going to be real fun, because I'm going to hit the wrong buttons.
The funny thing is the
constantly.
buttons don't super matter.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Can't believe he's late to his
Red
own
and I-
Octo wedding.
I know.
Oh, they're
how
saying I'm
rude.
quiet, by the way, which is a rare thing for me to be
Oh,
accused
okay.
of.
I'll bump you back up.
J'accuse.
Thank you.
Always late.
Okay, let's try that.
Hello. Is this better?
That might
I'm
be a little
speaking
much.
words
That
now.
might be a little much. Okay. Someone said, "What in the Cthulhu fuck?"
Yeah, that is what happened.
Rest.
Why do I have to remove the cushions? What does this have to do with getting dressed?
You need to find your shit.
Under the cushions?
Yes.
Under the cushions.
Oh, actually, though.
So those like storage benches, you know?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Tiger Paws says Cleo's too quiet. That is true.
Open that cabinet. I don't
Lim is
even know
pretty
what
quiet.
Lim is doing what at the moment. Oh boy.
Okay.
Doink.
Let's bump the game audio up a little bit. Tell me how that is.
Open. Ah! I guess that. Oh! I did open the cabinet.
Exactly as intended.
Oh no. Do I have to. I have to lift the leg to move? I'm stuck
Yes.
on this door.
Yep.
This was, you have to understand, this was kind of in the, at the time when the cultural memory of QWOP was still very fresh.
How do I let
yes.
go
So
of
the
the door?
idea-
Press the circle button? No, that's the no bones button. Are you holding any of the triggers?
Only the one that lifts your leg.
Hold on.
No, I'll figure it out.
Okay, just keep press buttons one by one. Scientific method.
Doink.
Simon, would you say this is an accurate representation of your experience as a boneless haver at times?
I would actually say yes.
Yes.
I am currently wearing my new set of AFOs to try to keep my legs from being bony.
Which stands for what, for those who don't know?
Ankle and foot orthosis. Basically, they are really good leg splints. They help with foot drop, which can be a problem when you have any sort of neurological condition, as I tend to do. How do I turn the camera? Do I not?
The camera, I think, will do what it does.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're trying to go towards that door.
Yeah, I am. As a matter of fact.
I don't know that it would be
Wait,
helpful
which
in
door?
any way
That
to
door?
help
Yeah, the
someone
one at the
play
end
the
of the
game.
door.
What the goal they're trying to achieve is, when really it's not that they don't know what the goal they're trying to achieve is. It's merely the effort of trying to achieve it. This is a real journey, not the destination kind of game.
This is a
There we
real
go.
hero's
You're
journey.
walking like a human man.
No, it's
yeah.
a push.
Hello,
Why
fellow
is it a
humans.
push? Why is
The
it
funny
a
thing
push
is, like,
door?
Blue, when you mentioned, like, yeah, we're gonna be streaming Octodad, I was like, oh yeah, man, I haven't thought about that game in ages. And then I was like, the things I like about Octodad are exactly the same things I like about my adventures with Superman, and I feel like there's a conversation to be had there.
Wait.
Sorry, what's the overlap?
What is the overlap?
Hello, I am a normal man attempting to function in a normal society, so nobody
wait.
can tell that I am actually something else.
Dressing room is over here.
I also wear red and blue.
Thank you, Reploid404, for the $20
you.
donation.
Ah.
Yeah,
But
this
yeah.
really is the Superman experience, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. This is the opposite of World of Cardboard. This world is very
no,
hard
it's-
and bony, and I am soft and boneless.
How do I grab
It's
the
actually a
buttons?
remarkably apt comparison
You
to
need
the
that
World
key.
of Cardboard thing, where it's like, yeah, you do have to move the world incredibly carefully.
I feel like I live in a world made of sharp edges.
Octodad is much worse at it.
Yeah.
Blurp.
Part of World Board.
Blurp.
Part of World Board.
Board of cards. You're just trying to get through a game of solitaire. Doink. No, come on.
Red, we did both for the stream simultaneously realize we had enough time to go get coffee. Can we do a bit? Can I ask you what your coffee was, and I'll tell you what my coffee was as well. We can kind of
Certainly, my
over
co-anchor
our
for
podcast.
today's news host. I would be glad to
Yes,
tell you
yes.
that today's coffee
me
order
out.
is cold brew with Nutella foam.
Ooh, how's that?
And for our I haven't tried it yet. Let me check actually. Hold on.
and we're getting a
Why
live
are there
sample
banana
from our field
pails?
reporter, Red. How is that Nutella foam?
It tastes like foam, and also a little bit of Nutella.
A little bit of
Back to you in the
Nutella.
studio.
Okay.
Well, it mostly
Well,
tastes
back here
like
in the
coffee.
studio.
Why are we in
we've,
the Church of Cthulhu?
Where else would you get married to a human woman?
I
Yeah,
found
right.
Objects to hurl them. Do I have to break the
This
Cthulhu?
is the Protestant perspective on every Catholic church and the Catholic perspective on every Protestant church.
false. A Protestant church would never have stained glass like this. That's the Catholic.
That's true. That's an indulgence, excuse you.
Break the window. Break the. Chuck it.
Indulgent, says woman who drank Nutella cold foam not 2 seconds ago.
Hey, I'm not Protestant. I can do what I like.
One sip of the cold foam and straight to hell.
Put on the boat.
Oh, well, back in the studio, I got my go-to, I've gone out to a coffee shop that is a little bit nicer than a Dunkin', iced vanilla latte. Also, I got a black and white cookie, because I thought, you know what, if we're gonna have some sugar for breakfast, let's do it. Also, because I'm eating and drinking this on stream and chat, you're all now witnesses to this at the IRS Ask. I am gonna write this off.
Come on. Move your lips.
Adam says, not true, my Lutheran church has lovely stained glass. Okay.
Okay.
So this is then the Lutheran perspective on every Catholic church.
Valid. That's very valid. Why would they grate it? Event this way. You have to be able to open a grate. This is huge inaccessibility
You must
right now.
besiege the castle to get in.
I mean, octopi can squeeze through a space as small as like a square inch.
Yeah.
so,
But not
like,
when you're wearing
you know,
a tux.
That is true. The tux is the real limiting factor on that.
I
Iconoclastic
read a
colors
great-
unlike any seen on Earth.
Hey-oh.
Just kind of a Robin Hood.
read a great, more recent sci-fi book called,
Why are there
Behind the
so
Sea
many
World.
doors?
And in it, it's about these the scientists researching these octopi who are developing very rapidly, like a human level society. And it's very, it's in that kind of conversation with the Michael Crichton, like Jurassic Parky, like concept sci-fi taken to its logical execution. Very dryly written, but in a way that makes sense to like fit the vibe of the story. Except for one chapter where they introduce the concept of these octopi being able to go on land, and they do describe what is not dissimilar to what I'm witnessing on screen. And this is kind of all I could picture in my head when I got to that scene in the book. I was like, oh.
Blubs menacingly.
He has a little knife too. He menacingly holds up like a little shell knife in the text.
I remember hearing about the octopus with the menacing little knife.
I think it's outstanding, and like it does become like a horror sci-fi
any
novel.
witnesses for this wedding?
Everyone, you see the little white trails of dots. Those are the people who are looking at you suspiciously because you're acting like a madman.
I'm an octopus.
You do, if you want to try for it, you do get an achievement for throwing the ring onto Scarlett's hand. You can also do a behind the back shot if you're feeling I don't even know
ambitious.
what
No,
ambitious.
I'm good.
The plural of octopus is octopi or octopodes. You could also go with octopuses if you're feeling nasty.
God. You can't say that on stream, Red.
You said far worse 5 minutes ago!
So guys, I think I threw the ring under her skirt.
Great.
That is
great.
nasty.
We're off to a roaring start.
No, come on, give me the ring.
He's not even a dad yet.
That's true, he's just Octo
Stop
guy.
saying ow, I'm just trying to give you your ring, bro.
Oh no! It's
don't know
gone.
where it
I
went.
saw it go way up left. It's on the organ.
Fuck. Don't mind me. Please stop looking at me suspiciously. I am simply...
Oh!
Hey, neat.
But maybe
That was...
Wait, where'd the ring go?
Where'd it go?
Huh.
Did it rematerialize in the bin?
Probably.
Hello, fellow humans. Just getting married like a normal man.
I feel like Yahtzee would call this game streamer bait, and unfortunately he's right.
I mean, if it's streamer bait, then why are we the only people who've streamed it in like 10 years?
Yeah,
Take that.
Because it's old streamer bait.
Okay, I think the real question is, 10 years ago, how many people were streaming it?
That would
and
have
not
been
why are we the only ones who
In
streamed
firmly
it 10 years?
the pre-Twitch era.
That's
Yeah, it
true,
would've
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow, that's weird to think about.
You know what? I don't think I can throw the ring on Scarlett's hand.
Okay.
I don't think I have
That's
that
okay.
kind of accuracy.
Place it gently.
Fossilized streamer bait.
Guess what? It's respawned in the bin again.
Oh.
The relic of streamers past.
Are we
Thank
the
you,
streamers past?
Stitch Witch, for your generous donation of $50.
thank
We
you.
appreciate that. Grace Noel with 5. I think Reploid 404 I saw. And then Anonymous with a 5. Thank you all so much. Again, if we get to 1,000, we're going to do co-op madness for a period of time.
Oh, come on, please.
That's when you each control different limbs, and sometimes it mixes up which limbs you're controlling.
Yes. You can also
This
just
was
put
like
it on.
I'm really trying.
There we go.
Hey,
Why is
you know,
her ring
in
that
sickness and in
big?
health.
Why does she have a ring that is also like a bracelet?
Maybe she knew that asking you to put a normal ring on her finger might be a little bit too much to ask.
Well, I'm glad she
Does she
knows.
know you're an
It's an accessibility
No,
need.
she does not. As far as we are aware, she does not also assign this is the interactive
Oh, fuck.
opening thing, where you get to just flop around and hit the letters. Yeah, look at that.
This is me on a day-to-day basis.
They did this in Astrobot too, and I loved it.
Yeah, interactive credits are always the
Here,
best.
want to just take this?
Just take that for a sec. My laptop's going nuts. Anyone
It's always
who
fascinating.
chooses Microsoft Outlook, then I have questions about you.
If you are the
Like, are you secretly an octopus pretending to be a man?
If you're on the team that does Microsoft Teams, what the fuck? Just like tell that to Satya, like what the fuck?
Since we did the newscaster bit, I can feel the voice trying to like re-emerge and do bits during this.
Well, hey,
The folks at home are asking, what the fuck?
Adam's and Linguistics rant is octopodes is the Greek plural, octopi is the Latin, and octopus is used the productive English plural, which is, that's why they all sound normal to us, because we intersperse different versions of that.
The classic, if you can understand it, it's proper language.
Yeah. Thank you.
Back to you in the studio. God damn it, somebody save me.
Alright, give it back. Take it back now, y'all.
One hop this time.
Stop.
One's close.
It's my game.
Hit the alarm.
I'm working on it.
I think that the Octodad should make Squidward walking noises every time he moves.
Oh, that would be really funny.
Am I like...
It's part of the importance of sound design in games.
Octodad and Smash Bros. Win.
Sakurai, please.
Everyone is here.
Thanks to ULLA for 20 and Dude Munch 87.
I'm so bad at throwing things unless, like, I don't want to. I just want to break the alarm clock. I don't even know if that's possible.
Oh, I think it is.
Okay, here's the thing. Says this is straight up one of my favorite games ever. It's so well done. I love games where a guy is like, hey, what if funny thing, and then just made it happen. This is the same logic that led to Goose Game.
Yeah.
This was Goose Game
like
before Goose Game.
there's a genre that's like Goose Game, and even a little bit of like, well, I'd say Getting Over It is a different part of the what if funny thing.
Ooh, yeah, that streamer rage game. That's a very different genre.
That's true. That's true. Octodad and Goose Game are sort of like opposite ends of an alignment spectrum, where it's like you're causing chaos, but with Octodad, he does not want to, and with Goose, it is the only thing the Goose craves. Back to you in the studio. What's happening to me?
No. Wizard
Oh,
Princess
This
is
is not the kitchen? Okay.
This is a lovely living room. Also, what a portrait
I am bread.
of
You're so
Octodad.
right. Oh my god,
I
I
am
forgot
bread.
about I am bread.
Oh god.
I'm just getting slammed back into 2014.
Markiplier just suddenly gets a splitting headache.
See you sleep.
Good morning. I'm here to make some
You know
coffee.
Sherry from
That was the video where he censored all his swears with bread, said in a really like happy, energetic tone.
Oh my god, I forgot about
bread.
that. This is some bull bread.
Oh wait, first I need to put water.
So I was stargazing.
I'm glad you went
last night while you were
stargazing,
off
honey.
in your
That sounds
man
lovely.
And
Let
I
me just
snapped
get my
my
foot off to the
Yes.
counter.
Lights.
Now,
Sent a
honey, would
picture
you
of
say
some
those
strange
stars are
lights.
aligned? Yeah.
Strange colors never seen before.
Honey, did you read my latest
don't like the
article?
tile
I
on
got
the
an
kitchen
interview
floor.
with
No.
Well, you don't like the
Tore
colors?
him
How am I supposed to
The
put
thing
water
about
in
it,
it if you don't let me take the pot back out?
I sent a picture to
Just
the
fill
interview
it
just
in.
push the
and
red
they
button.
put it on the
Or
cover.
you
That's what I
already did that.
tried, and it
Pick
just
one up,
steamed
dear.
because I think I need water and or coffee grounds.
Oh, you need to
Oh,
put
of
the
course,
crab in
I
there.
am bread.
Why is there a
guy.
fish
There's a
in
fish in the
there?
oven.
See you later.
Hold on. Who
Cannibalism.
left the fish in the oven? Let me grab the fish. Hold on.
Wait!
Perhaps
Don't go outside without your
I
coat.
like the implication that
grab
your own
my
children can
fish.
become suspicious that their father is an octopus. I mean, who among us hasn't wondered if their father might have been an octopus?
Can I eat this?
No.
It's really
Which
funny
is a
that Chad is
tragedy.
already, like, going down the rabbit hole of, like, but wait, there are children? How are there children? How can this have happened? And it's like, guys,
Maybe
you're
they
ahead of the
adopted.
curve.
A series of joking blubs possibly making a double entendre. I love the way they subtitle Octodad.
Let me hold it.
My
Let me hold
typewriter
the
is
door
out of
handle.
date. We've got more somewhere.
That sounds good, honey, but I have the sudden urge to flail around uncontrollably.
Nope.
It's just dancing.
Scarlet, I must dance.
Scarlet, I can't get in the closet.
Project, dear.
Okay.
Don't know yet.
Well, of course
what
not. You got a wife and 2 kids now.
Octodad's job.
That would be getting out of the closet.
Well, I mean, it's too late to go back
Oh, it
in.
goes
That's the
top
point.
left. There we go. Now we can make some coffee.
In a way.
Oh, it's time for coffee.
I've spent so much
Octodad is still an octopus, but maintains a strong East New York accent.
Bring milk to
He's from real East New York.
just a
I
reminder.
think that they keep the
It's
milk in the
phenomenal.
fridge, or are they like savages or something?
Assignment.
Chocolate milk. Oh. This is a gamer household.
That's just regular milk, I think. It's
No, that's choco milk.
It's spilling. Don't spill the milk.
The resignation in your voice. It's spilling. Things are just happening.
Octodad's like, I also don't want me to be doing this.
Hey, I'm Octodad here! Thank you,
Sorry,
Deduce.
sorry,
That
my
was
son.
good.
Sorry, my son.
Thank you to Anonymous for the 20, DJ Lemon Squeeze, who I've definitely seen that lemon profile picture before.
For sure.
With the 20.
Wait, it's my coffee? Why does the octopus drink coffee?
You ever had coffee? It's great. Why would he not have coffee?
Because
He got it from his favorite bodega down in the Hudson.
In the Hudson.
Yeah!
Sea salt and tartar sauce.
my drink.
Sir, we
Sea
can't
salt
see
and
anything.
tartar sauce.
Hey, I'm blubbing here.
You know what? I'm not a monster.
I'm
I am going to...
over here.
Give me a sec. I have to get my mug in the sink because I am not a bad father.
Mug in the sink, coffee on the floor.
Leave me alone. Why do I have to make burgers? It's like the morning. I just gave a kid chocolate milk.
Make burgers for lunch.
There's a comment that's held for review sharing an interesting fact about one of the octopi's tentacles. Should we show it?
Uh-oh.
So we could get a horse for the backyard.
I don't see this.
Oh, I see it.
It is not a problem.
A hamburger.
Yeah, I mean, in the interest of scientific inquiry, I'll show it. Everyone gets to see.
All right.
Is the grill hot?
I
Yes.
think what we're trying to do on the stream is not examine the scientific questions raised by Octodad as much as possible.
Yeah.
1960.
But cool fact. Thank you.
Maybe this is like a distant ancestor to whatever they've got going on in
Burger's gonna
Splatoon.
Where do I put the burger?
On the little lettuce beds over there.
Ah.
Yeah. You can also grill your own arm.
I would rather not do that, I think.
Don't get too comfortable, dear.
Don't get
I've
too
got a busy day
comfortable.
planned for the whole
Ma'am,
family.
you just told me to grill a bunch of burgers.
It's a
And you did not give me tongs.
surprise.
To be fair, would you be able to make it work with tongs?
Leave me alone.
You have to have a button for the little click test to make sure they still work.
He becomes Crab. Now it is Crabdodad.
Our tongs actually have the opposite problem, whereas they don't stay closed. If we like close them and like pull the little tab out to like lock it, they
They
just like
auto-click
fling
click.
back open later.
Wait, I'm only making 3 burgers.
camera's
Which
getting
one
a
of
bit
us doesn't
old.
get a burger and why is it
Any
probably?
I think the fish in the oven is for you.
Yeah.
One modified
Pescatarian.
drives.
This is not fully cooked. No, it is. I only burned one of them.
Well, you know, it's good. There's people in my
It's not
family
very
who like their
good.
things over well done.
Give me a sec, I have to go get my fish back and grill that. I want to grill my fish. Where'd my fish go? I know I tossed it on the floor, but like, where'd it go?
You can probably roast your fish in the fireplace that you have.
That's what I want to do. I just don't know where I put it. Is it right here?
Thank you, Rabbit Mongoose, for the 20, and Anonymous for the 5.
Oh my god, the chat is already... I mean, obviously the
found
implications
it.
of the game are just right there. It's like, how did this octopus have 2 human children with his
Such a
human
beautiful
wife?
day today.
Maybe-
But like, I
You got
assumed we were
cut
supposed to
off.
politely
You
not
know?
think about that.
You don't know, chat. They could be a loving, adopted family. They could be fostered.
I will
You don't know
say-
the answer.
Outside today.
Unfortunately, I do know the answers, and canonically they are his biological children.
Ah.
I'm sorry, this is brought up.
With facts.
I'm
living in
sorry,
my
it's
own
true.
world.
It's just like, I assumed we were supposed to politely not think about it, you know? It's like, what they do in the bedroom is their business.
Sorry, child. I just had to bring the lunch over. Why do I have to weed the garden while the children eat the food?
Because you're a responsible parent.
Why don't
Why
I
is everyone
get...
blaming me? It's in the game! It's not even metatextual analysis!
And they hated her for she told the truth.
I don't think we should think of dandelions as
Someone
weeds.
make the meme format where it's just Jesus saying Octodad fucks, and then the Pharisees are like they hated Jesus for he told them the truth.
I'm being persecuted for correctly reporting the news. Back to you in the studio.
And we're not going to cover the implications of that. And then we just move on.
Sorry, I
No,
didn't mean
we're on
to
to a
destroy
new-
your flowers. I just wanted to weed the
I
garden
heard
for
if
you.
one of those seeds gets in your ear, it'll make a weed grow out of the top of your head.
That can't be true.
But unfortunately, one of the weeds is very far in the back. And I am a wobbly child.
The idea that he's an X-Men type mutant is probably one of the, like, most almost like buzzkill explanations for why this game is the way it is.
I
Like
think
his
the word
mutation
you're
is just that
looking
he
for-
looks exactly like an octopus.
I think the word you're looking for is tame.
You have to blow on the wings and make a wish.
But really, is there a difference between tame and boring when you really get down to it?
Yes.
Uncanny X-Men, Gail Simone's current run of it is really good. I highly recommend it to anyone. I'm an issue or two behind, but I'm at the comic shop this weekend, so it'll be for long.
Dad, you should have
But
seen
it's a
this.
really,
I
if you want to get into X-Men, now's a really good time to do it. And
Why
Gail
are there
Simone
so
did
many
manage to put together.
balls?
Um,
Leave me
did
alone.
manage to draft what might be my ideal X-Men team because it's Jubilee, Rogue, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and Gambit, and I don't know that I could get any better
Oh,
than that,
wow.
honestly.
Yeah, I was reading that for the first several issues. I wasn't sure if they were gonna keep Wolverine in the team that long, because he kind of has a tendency to just fuck off, but
Yeah. I think there's an X-23 Lara Kinney Wolverine solo run right now, so I think Wolverine is on the team at least for the time being. He might occasionally go do other X-Men things, if that makes any sense. It's in
Hell
the
yeah.
comics wibbliness of, well, he's gonna disappear for an issue or two because, like all comics characters, eventually they do cross over with other people.
yeah, or like we need an issue where somebody being able to heal would solve the problem immediately.
We need
So-
to explode someone a little bit, so I don't know, just go throw Wolverine
Why
at the
do you have to
problem.
get
Wol-
every single
Wolverine's
ball
too busy
out
being-
You have to
before-
grab the mower from the handle up top. It's just
Why are you pouring
completely
ketchup
obscured
in
Oh, I'm
your
getting a
drink?
call. Give me a sec.
oops.
Just trying to make
All right.
But as a certified
Well, dear.
Nightcrawler girly,
Gotta book on chemistry.
yeah, it's a great run. And also they give us
Yeah.
Nightcrawler in
Real
overalls. There's been some
potions.
excellent Gambit stuff, and I love having Rogue in charge of the team. And the new I think it's the Outliers they call themselves or something. The new X-Kids are also
Oh,
very
yeah.
endearing.
Love the new
I haven't
friends.
entirely internalized what all of their mutation powers are yet, but I like them all a lot, and I like how they're all buddies with each other. It's very, it's a great run. If you've at all been thinking about getting into the X-Men specifically,
You want
that's
their
the X team I would
bodies
recommend right
lying all
now.
over the house?
I've also been reading the new TMNT run, although that one is a lot more of exactly what you would expect the Ninja Turtles to be doing at any given time.
Yeah, of course.
I heard my
Yeah,
knee
that-
at
that- it comes out
basketball
monthly.
practice, my elbow at baseball.
There's no
On my foot.
there's no surprises in that in the way that there are with other comics sometimes. My boys.
Hey Dad, the way you're mowing the lawn reminds me of
Wolverine's
this one
superpower is to be on
episode of
every
Sports
superhero
Johnson.
team at once. You're so right.
Yes.
I need to send Sports Johnson Jr.
Accurate.
or S.
Look, he's immortal, he's bored. He collects registration cards.
I am
What
back.
can you do? Hello.
Sorry. Patient question.
I am
Ah.
mowing the garden dutifully
Uh-huh. Thank you, husband.
and not getting my legs caught in the mower.
Dangerous. Making sashimi.
This might have been the game that partially contributed to why I started swearing off takoyaki. I've just sort of come down on the side that I don't really want to eat anything intelligent. You know what I mean?
You call this intelligent?
He's just a good old American man trying his best, okay?
My family celebrates Greek Orthodox Easter on the side of us that's Greek, and every year my uncle grills up some octopus, and unfortunately every single year we have the exact same conversation, which is it's incredibly delicious. It's some of the best food I eat every single year, and all of us stand around there eating a piece of octopus thinking to ourselves, aren't they getting a little smarter every time we do it?
Every time we eat one of the dumb ones.
We're selecting for the ones who don't get caught.
Where is the rest of the lawn that needs to be mowed?
I think there might be some, like in the bottom right corner, maybe? Because I don't see any right here. No. Huh.
This-
Huh.
There might be one weed still missing in the garden, maybe?
No, because I've done the garden
Yeah.
task.
Okay.
There's intelligent design, and then there's whatever this is.
Leave me alone.
Truly proof that there is no God. Thank you, Adam.
This is choosing your path in life, okay? This is reaching for this is the Little Mermaid in a different font. You're all just too cowardly to see it.
Look at this stuff.
He just wants to be where the
Isn't it
people
neat?
are.
Wouldn't you think my family's kind of weird? I have to move the
Matt
slide.
is not real, so he just kind of has to like get out there and be like, all right, I guess I'm walking, right? Like I guess I'm just learning by doing.
Where on earth?
It does look like there might be one more weed in the garden.
Where?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a little closer.
Well, the garden's better weeded.
Wish I could be.
I fully do not see mowing to be
Okay, well you can go chop the firewood.
Okay.
Dad,
On the subject of like takoyaki and stuff and Greek Easter and Greek food, I do enjoy Greek food quite a bit. When we were in Italy, because if you haven't listened to the OS podcast, Cyan, Red, myself, Tim from Hello Future Me, and then some
his
friends,
wife, and some other
and
friends,
his wife, went to Italy. And when we were in Venice, one of the specials in the menu was branzino, which is basically like the kind of like Mediterranean style sea bass, which is very hard to get in the States, and usually they don't cook it right. They usually overcook it. So when we got branzino, I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. I was thrilled. Like, Sophia, what you were saying about like it's the best thing ever, like, yeah, it was a transcendent experience.
Yeah, you gotta go to more East Coast Italian American restaurants, my dear.
I do, but they so rarely have it on the menu when I go.
We do not go to many Italian American restaurants.
Well, we go to some.
Do we?
Some. A generous sum.
I mean,
Okay.
what Italian American restaurant do we go to?
Do you want me to dox ourselves on stream of which ones we go to, dear?
I just physically can't think of any.
Well, we'll figure it out later. We'll look at a map.
We got a question in chat. Blue and Indigo Mission Impossible Power Hour. Do you want to save that for the after show next week?
Yes, I think we have
Is
to
everyone on
save that for the ass.
Oh, did you finish? Did you watch the new one?
It was so good.
Obviously. It's
Well, I mean, last time when we were on the pod, you were like, "I haven't seen it yet. If you spoil it, I'll kill you." So
yes, because it was for the weekend, and then the weekend happened,
under
and
the
I went and
ball.
I
There it
saw
is.
it.
There
And
it is.
now I'm upstairs.
There it is. Got it.
But we'll say that. And then if you haven't listened to the Overly Sarcastic podcast, it came out this week, so not next week, but the week after. There'll be another episode, and on that episode, in the after show, so if you're a patron, check that out. Inevitably, that's going to be the Blue and Indigo. Mission
Yeah.
Impossible Power.
When I mentioned that I had seen Mission Impossible, Indigo pulled a gun and pointed it at the screen and was like, don't you dare spoil anything.
I generally don't care about spoilers. I think I've made that stance pretty clear. But Mission Impossible, it's less that I care about knowing what happened in it, and more just like there are only so many movies a year that I as a person,
Okay, I'm like, I can't.
That I as a person get to have like a real cinema experience for. Like I get to go to a theater,
Yeah.
get popcorn, and be like, I'm looking forward to this. I get to see it. And Mission Impossible is one of those things. I was like, absolutely.
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
this is one of the only blockbusters I genuinely care about. I must experience this in its entirety.
For the whole family. A free
time.
trip to the
Well, I'm glad I know. I can watch it in advance and do my homework.
Yes, you should. It's pretty fun.
I
It's
know
good.
you think
But
It's
Americans
good.
are
Yeah,
frustrated
it's
with
we'll say
everything,
right.
but I've got
I would
to
love
write
us to
articles for
redo
the
our
paper.
Mission Impossible rankings on
Can't
that
you
after
make
show,
an
perhaps.
exception?
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
My real question
Um,
is why do both parents have to go to the aquarium?
Oh,
Forced family outing.
What?
groceries.
Yeah.
yeah.
We need
Or
to go
perhaps
to the
if it's a
grocery
field
store.
trip, you know, they're
We need
chaperoning.
things
It's
like,
you don't want to spend time
cereal for
with
the
your loved
kids.
ones at the aquarium.
right, kids?
Well, we
A
already
couple more
have
donations. Thank you
cereal. We
to
need so
Graham
much cereal.
Christensen
Then it's
with
settled.
5,
We're all
Maria
going to the
Annette
grocery store.
with 50, Nikki Knife Stab, what a name, with 20.
Johnson's pizza and soda and chocolate milk. And I want an apple.
It's real effing murder death energy on that one.
Find the frozen
Right.
pizza.
The store. This is a great mission. All-time
segue?
classic.
We're about to see one of the greatest missions in
go on the
Octodad
segue?
history.
And
Oh, wait, hold on. I grabbed the wrong one with the wrong hand.
this is up there with the first mission in Halo. This is up there with the.
Do I stand on it or do I just push
Yeah,
it?
you stand on it.
Services
You
has
can
revolutionized
finagle
the
your
modern shopping
little
experience.
octopus
Everything
feet
here is automated
on
and
there, and then
handled
you can
remotely.
pilot it around.
The correct term is octopodes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like other famous like first-person shooter levels, but I never played Call of Duty.
Yeah, FPS is maybe the game genre I know the least about. Because I can't aim on a screen like that, it's a real detriment. Actually, I tried to get into Destiny and I was like, I can't do this. I'm just simply not built for this situation.
I mean, I did TF2, but that feels like it barely counts.
That barely counts. TF2 is like, it's a platform for digital improv more than it is a first person, more than it is a shooting game.
Look, I mained sniper on a trackpad, alright? I did my time.
Yeah. Someone says Arc Complex and Doom Eternal. Haven't played any of the new Doom games. I'm curious about the Dark Ages, although all the real gamers
Does this count as on it?
Yep. All the real gamers are like, this one's too easy and kind of boring. But hey, the
Octodad
Doom guy with a shield. Ooh.
Octodad makes a great ballerina.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah.
I understand that this is not necessary, but I will be getting on this segue. Thank you.
I believe in you. You know, it's
a mobility aid, obviously.
Yeah. First Night in Minecraft, a classic first-person shooter level. Yeah.
Come on.
See, I just always took to the mines immediately, so I barely even knew about the day-night cycle. I would just dig, put a little roof over my head, and then just start mining.
Yeah. As I would say, the resident expert on Minecraft, because I am pretty sure the only person on this call who has watched a Minecraft movie. I mostly played in creative mode, so I actually would just kind of be like, I just want to build a house, I don't want to do anything.
Ooh, for me, switching into creative mode was always the beginning of the end, you know? It's like, Minecraft,
Excuse me, ma'am.
you know...
Excuse me, ma'am.
Minecraft, to
knocked
me,
me off
you
my
know...
mobility aid.
Fucking rude.
Slap her.
Mods, destroy her.
Thought about it.
Mods Draculate her. But yeah, for me, like with Minecraft and any game where you have to sort of make your own fun, as soon as I lose the self-imposed challenge, it stops being like I start inevitably experiencing the decline in my interest, because it's like, well, you know, I didn't like that I died there. Maybe I'll just turn on keep inventory, or like, it wasn't fair that I lost that stuff I'd mined. Maybe I'll just, you know, real quick dip into creative mode. And as soon as you start doing that, it never ends. It's like Batman killing people. It just doesn't work.
How do I get through here?
You have to weasel your way over the top shelf. There's no food. Yeah. Thank you to
I can
Ben
make
Myers
it
for
so
50.
more of them don't have food.
If I can't have my pizza, no one can.
I feel like 99% of games, I'm the exact same way where I'm like, I need you to give me a quest objective or I will simply just stop playing this game. Like, I cannot self-motivate it to continue if there is no stated goal. And for some reason, Minecraft Creative Mode is the exception to that rule, where I'm like, no, I will build several large cities and connect them via incredibly tedious road construction over this map and then never revisit any of them ever again. Like, I just become a monster building these empty megastructures and leaving them in my wake, and then I delete the world, like, or it just lives forever in a server that I don't know exists. Like, it's really it's the only time I think I've ever been self-motivated to play a game with no stated goal, which is crazy. I don't know why it's like that.
That's pretty cool.
Was this supposed to happen?
Yes. Pizza.
Pizza. Deeper dish.
We need to send that to the Pope. The deepest dish.
Do we think that Lou Malnati's delivers to the Vatican?
They might start. I want to see what it's like in Chicago right now for how many people are just shamelessly getting in on the Pope Leo action. I saw like a photo of an announcer thingy on the big TV at the White Sox stadium. It's like Southside's own. It's like, damn, that feels out of place.
There's a lot of debate in Philly because the Pope went to Villanova, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which means statistically he has eaten at a Wawa like somewhat regularly, and there's been a lot of what is the Pope's Wawa order?
Cyan, your sister said the exact same thing.
Yeah, so I have two sisters who also went to school in Philly. And one just got a job in Philly, so she's staying there. Oopsies. I'm sure it's fine. I want the soda. Excuse you.
But yeah, I would like to know the Pope's Wawa order as well. I think it's really. I've never had this level of connection with the Pope before. You know, I've never been even close to having anything that we could call shared conversation before.
I think the
Oh my
funniest.
god, white people finally learning that representation matters. This is how we do it! This is how we do it!
Oh no, you're not wrong.
Indigo, I had the same thought. I'm like, oh my god, he's my Pope, he's from Chicago. Oh wait, fuck.
It was very funny though, seeing like the conversation around that whip in like 8 different directions in the space of a week, because it was like, OMG, just like in Conclave, the hit show, Conclave, my favorite, and then like, American Pope? Chicago Pope? What the fuck? It's just like, I don't know,
What
it was
cereal
very
does
funny.
Tommy like? I don't even know.
I would get the new Abazor for my son.
This woman's just staring at me. She's judging me for not.
And the monkey's paw curls.
I hope nobody.
Oh, you have to steal her cereal. This is just like that famous level from Metal Gear Solid.
White woman spotted, get her! The famous level in Metal Gear Solid. Actually, I think that is the duel with Sniper Wolf, but I haven't played that game, so I can tell you. But, yeah.
Didn't Kojima originally want that to take a week in real time?
That was the duel with the
No.
No.
Oh, the
there's
end.
a sniper.
The end.
The end, yeah, in Metal Gear 3. I think he's the end. The old guy. You're supposed to like. There might be a thing where if you just wait an in-game week, he dies of old age. I think that might be it. But I will forever respect Kojima for doing the wildest polls. Like, clearly, he likes making games that other people take very seriously, and he's just having a good time. And I do very much respect that.
I feel like Kojima games are the epitome of, like, the video essay community can spend, like in the case of White Light, 8 hours talking about how Death Stranding is a masterpiece, and Kojima's like, I was just kind of doing bullshit, honestly.
Yep. It is, oh man, I don't know. It's also very funny to see him internally at war with himself over whether war is terrible and bad, or weapons of war are extremely cool and sexy. Because it's like, he'll build the coolest giant robot and then point at it and be like, now blow it up because the military-industrial complex is evil. And I mean, like, it's win-win-win because you just get a really cool boss fight out of it, but it's very funny watching him, like, fucking Smeagol and Golluming about it every time he makes a game.
Adam says war is terrible, but guns are cool as shit.
Oh wait, can I go in the ship? Can I go in the ship?
20-euro donation from MC Jethro Pavti, OGest of the OG OSP
Guys.
fans right here.
Guys, I
Respect
can go
in the chat for
Respect.
this viewer.
But also, look, I'm on the ship.
You're in the ship! Yay!
Octodad in space.
It's true, this is just the robot version of if evil, why hot?
When we got back from Italy, I briefly looked at getting a replica of an arquebus because we went to the armory room in the Doge's palace, and the modern guns are cringe and stupid, but like antique guns are really cool.
I'm pretty sure I told you no.
Yeah, you told me no, and I immediately got it out of my head, but I'm like, oh god, new guns are so dumb, but old guns were so cool.
Like, here's
Unfortunately,
the thing. Sorry, go ahead.
well, it's just Blue. The problem is you are already a sword guy. If you also become a historical arquebus guy,
there's no coming
you
back
become
from
a very
that.
different kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The alchemy that does is irreversible on your personality.
What I was gonna say is, Blue and I, we don't tell each other what to do per se, except for when one of us has really kind of silly ideas, and that's like, hey, maybe
Soft veto.
can I like gently move this to a different shelf?
Crossbow, get a real bow. It's cooler.
Okay, Red.
So I know someone asked to like get a crossbow, and it's like, no, if you're gonna get a, some kind of historical ranged weaponry, get a bow. You can mount it unstrung on the wall, and it'll look very cool, and you can also use it, which is festive. I feel like the more work the weapon is doing for you, the less fun it is to have it on your wall.
Yes.
You know?
That
Like a
milk
sword
company,
is fine.
Oh my god, it's the people who made Journey.
Whoa!
What?
Yeah. Well, that game company.
That milk company. It's a
Yeah.
reference, yeah.
Listen, I was like, I can't believe they called themselves a milk company. Wait, get sushi sample? That just feels like a really bad idea,
Feels
actually.
like a trap.
Feels wrong.
Is this where I ask for the sushi?
Where the sushi sample.
Come through doors.
Nope, this is a trap. This is a trap.
What? No.
Red flag,
You
red
should
flag,
get
red
in
flag.
there.
Oh, that's a Super Meat Boy reference too. The little cube of meat with the
Right.
band-aids on it.
Am I able to grab it from the door?
Oh, if only.
Everyone's being like, oh, but what about gun sword? You guys joke? They had gun swords in the Arsenal. They were just
did.
there. It was great.
Yeah.
People thought of all kinds of weird shit to make guns useful back when they fired once poorly and then took an hour to reload.
And a gun pike, which was very cool.
Damn. First death.
Gotta be faster.
No.
Also, thank you to Diaria for $50.
I'm just gonna like start by prepping in a better way. And by that I mean I'm gonna move this piece of meat out of the way that I keep getting stuck on. And then
You can see him there through the boxes.
yeah, okay.
Doug Dimmadome ass chef hat.
Wonder if you can yeet it over the edge of the box and just tail it before you start.
Run,
Octodad pulls a pin on the grenade.
run, slip, run, slip, run.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
Run,
You can outrun this madman.
I don't know that
Do
I
it for your
can.
children. Do it for your extremely
Mop the sticky
inexplicably
floor.
biological children.
Fine. Give me the mop. Give me the mop. I've mopped it. Great. Run, run.
There we go.
Mop the floor. Why? Check out. I
The
mean,
Nemesis segments in Resident Evil 3 needed bananas to slip on. You're so right. We need a little more whimsy in this.
What were you doing back there?
what were you doing back there?
Well,
I don't
Fighting
know.
for my fucking life, Scarlet.
is that it?
Why is he trying to kill a completely normal father? I don't know, man. That chef is just
I
woo,
think I'm
got a lot going on.
utterly in love.
I think we should gaslight the chef. See what happens.
Mods
Sir,
revoke
I
his
am
Michelin
just a
stars.
normal guy. Mods, get Gordon Ramsay on the horn.
Take that, brain suckers.
Keep giving this mermaid too much ab. That feels like a problem.
I thought that syllable was going in a very different direction.
Oh! Bad! Also wrong.
Wasn't my masterpiece.
Are you drawing like Michelangelo, just drawing a dude and putting boobs on it?
I had to
No.
show. I don't know what the start of the conversation was, but so we were at a wedding for one of the Science family members, and the conversation.
My cousin
came,
and her wife, they're amazing.
Yes, they are wonderful.
Yeah.
The conversation came up of somebody who had had some cosmetic work done.
I remember exactly how this started.
Yes, and
God.
someone's like, I wonder what
That makes two of
like
us.
the worst boob job ever, and I'm like, let me show you a statue by a guy named Michelangelo Buonarroti, who has never seen a
Yeah.
naked human woman.
I love Michelangelo. He's such a good artist in the specific zone he's good at. And then he was just like, women,
Or you can walk home alone.
I can eyeball this.
Michelangelo's like the natural evolution. Like he's like the proto form of when you're in like middle school and you like art and you get really good at drawing eye on the side of your notebook page over
Yeah.
and over again. That's Michelangelo, but with anything
Guys.
that's not taken too.
Just
Yes?
like a note. They just bought chocolate milk and then we're like, and we're immediately going to the aquarium.
That milk's gonna go bad.
Yeah. That milk's gonna go bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, maybe their car is kept colder, kind of like icebox style, on account of it
Ooh,
being
that would be
driven by an
nice.
octopus.
I mean, he's not gonna go bad if it's warm. He's an alive octopus.
Honey, are you all right?
I don't know
What
octopus
has got you
rules.
so spooky?
I don't know I don't know octopus rules.
Okay, I'll just
I'm not an octopus
add
expert.
that to the list of questions.
I am a normal person who is definitely not an octopus. Why would I know about octopi?
Now, let's get some tickets.
Don't accuse me of being an octopus. That's not the bit. That's not the bit for the stream.
After all, who's to say that you're not an octopus, huh?
Yeah. How do we know Red's not an octopus?
Well, that's ridiculous.
How did she hold all those drinks? 8 arms.
So the secret is we're not octopus. Noir, on the other hand, very much an octopus.
Thank
That
you
I-
for visiting Victoria
Oh, sorry.
Falls.
Hold on. My AC just kicked in.
I hear
Heard
that.
that, yeah.
I'm thinking octopus.
I'm
might
turning
be
it off.
cool.
Red suffers for your audio quality, chat. Remember that.
Mhm.
Thank you, Peter, for the $20.
Thank you again to everyone who's been donating. If you missed it at the not quite beginning of the stream because we were distracted, we're raising money for the EDS Society or Ehlers-Danlos Society. And what that does is help support research and searches for treatment for people with EDS. If you don't know what EDS is, Ehlers-Danlos is a kind of group of connective tissue diseases. And I have it. Sorry, I'm distracted by also trying to play an octopus.
Want me to get you through the line?
Yeah, honestly, that would be great. You can just read it off the. Oh no, I meant like you can read it off the website. You can be the guy.
Oh.
Your stay is
I believe in
Line
you.
as in like line on a script and line, not line as in
Not
line.
like playing the game.
Hi, I have ticket. No cutsies? Yeah, I wasn't gonna cut the line. That'd be
Hello, I
rude.
have ticket.
whale of a
I am
time.
normal man.
Hold on. We all have to do our different. Okay, Red, that's your Octodad voice.
Oh, hold on,
Blue,
I
if
can-
you
I can-
give us your best Octodad voice.
It's just the blurbles. So on the EDS Society website, there are two different buttons to click. One is for I'm an individual, and the other is for I am a health pro. And I subconsciously kept scrolling down for I am an octopus.
Blue, no.
Methinks the normal human man doth protest too much.
Yeah, what an incredibly
go. That is what I wanted you to read.
Octodad voice. Perhaps
The cues.
you practiced.
Guys, I'm stuck on the line. There we go.
Just like a normal human would be.
I have unironically had that problem.
You always say that.
Marine biologists know a fish when they see one. Well, good thing I'm not a fish. Where's my family?
I can't be a fish. I eat fish.
Well,
So,
they're not.
let's see. Got it from the website after clicking that I'm not an octopus. Ehlers-Danlos syndromes are a group of 13 heritable connective tissue disorders. The conditions are caused by genetic changes that affect the connective tissue. So all the stuff in your joints, the things that aren't the bones or muscle, the stuff that connects all of that, connective.
Mainly the collagen.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, the genes that encode for collagen are incorrect.
Each type of EDS has its own set of features with distinct diagnostic criteria, but some features are seen across all types of EDS, including joint hypermobility, skin hyperextensibility, so
Stretchy.
skin stretchiness, and tissue fragility, so scarring easily, poor wound healing. Also includes mast cell activation syndrome, which is essentially allergies get really bad for seemingly no reason. Pain can be much worse, fatigue, GI issues, dysautonomia, headaches, and anxiety. Lots of different things can be in the soup of EDS. It's not just a case of, oh, you know, you're flexible. The guy who does, like, flexible and stretchy, like, short
Movement with
videos.
David?
Yeah, he had a video where he had a guest with EDS, and it's like, I'm really flexible. That's a bad thing.
Yeah, I think the problem with a lot of disorders, EDS included, is that people kind of think, oh, well, that sounds good. You're flexible. But what that turns into is that your joints like to roll or twist or do all sorts of things that they're really not supposed to do. If you ever rolled an ankle, same.
Yeah.
Almost once a week, if not more. And once a week is now after much PT to try to prevent the ankle rolling. You know, you tend to have, oh, really soft skin. That sounds great, except for the fact that it's really soft because it's just stretchy and can make things that, like, the problem with EDS and a lot of these conditions is they affect weird things. So, for example, it's actually very hard for me to do a blood draw because my skin is stretchy. Not something you would think of until you run into it. Thankfully, I was able to get a tattoo, though. That was fun. I plan on getting another one. Mast cell disorder sounds awful and is. GI issues sound awful and are. So those are, like, the big ones. But I think the thing that a lot of people don't know is that stuff that sucks continues to suck, even when you think it might be a good thing. But yeah. Why is this guy dressed as a shark?
You're at an aquarium. He's a mascot.
Thank you to Overthinker89 and Oddly for
now
donating
entering the deep
$20 and 20 Canadian
Home
dollars.
to many
Love a good
strange
Canadian.
It's
and
not
mysterious
California
creatures.
dollars. I told my dad that joke and he didn't get it.
Witness to their
Oh.
Daddy? Is that
Diagnosed not funny by your dad. That's rough.
Yeah.
Catastrophic.
I accidentally stepped on my child.
Predators seek out the phosphorescent glow of their
Fine,
prey.
you're squishy in a way that they
Do
aren't.
you have what it takes to hunt in the darkness?
Oh, I
I
hate
bet
this
you
level.
don't.
Are you gonna do a funny fish dance? Are
DDR.
Come on, Dad.
It's hard
let's
being an
go.
octopus in a non-octopus world.
So, if you were a bigger fish, you would catch
Question
the
for any
smaller
resources
and then raise
for people
them
who might
to
want
be
to
big
research
fish.
EDS. More.
I would recommend the EDS Society website, honestly. They're very good. The problem with a lot of rare conditions is that most, say, medical textbooks, you get like a one-sentence blurb. So I actually first learned about EDS, and what prompted me to get a diagnosis was actually
Hunter, you
in
have
grad
what it
school.
takes. Now take the
I took a
shake
class
light and
called
descend.
Cell Matrix. I think, I forget exactly the word, but basically it was how.
pick up your other phone.
There we go, thank you. It was basically cell matrices. So you would
Lights around here.
talk about things like elastin, collagen, and other cell structures, as well as the extracellular matrices, which would basically just teach you how to learn about all this kind of stuff. And we briefly talked about EDS, because they were like, yeah, there's this syndrome where all your joints bend backwards.
Would that be fucked up or
and
what?
you're like super, stretchy. Wouldn't that be super duper weird? I was like, huh.
Huh.
That would be super duper weird. Unfortunately, that sounds familiar. Where am I supposed to go?
Down the escalator.
Oh, it's an escalator. I
Yeah.
thought it was a wall.
It looks like a wall, but because there's this.
Sorry, my child has my leg.
Your leg is, yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I first learned about it. Brought it up to my PCP at the time, who's not my current PCP, but she was quite good. And she was like, yeah, that's a problem. And referred me to a geneticist who eventually diagnosed me. Come on, child. Come on.
Come on, child. One of two, whichever one you are.
It's the Stacy, the girl.
Ah.
Ooh, Jelly. They make.
You just smacked your daughter.
I'm trying my
no.
best.
Ooh, Jelly. They make me feel
Is
like
the
I'm wrapped
exit
up
here?
in a warm, cozy
Nope,
blanket
that's just a sign.
made of jelly.
Clea used the litter box. I'll be back
But
in a
yeah,
second.
I would recommend the EDS Society website. There's also a lot of good influencers that will also talk about things like this. So people who have the condition are honestly one of your best resources. Everyone presents differently, and that does make things like, getting a diagnosis harder, especially if people only have read the one blurb and they go, well, this person doesn't, scar very easily. So can't be it. And then you hear about other people with the condition, and you're like, really? Because it seems like these are also symptoms. And then they research, your doctor might research it and be like, oh, yes. Yes, they are, as a matter of fact.
Also, a couple people in chat were saying maybe the game volume is a little loud now. We could potentially knock that down a couple notches.
Sure. I don't know how to get further in here. Those are strawberry and cream.
You got strawberry cream?
There's a strawberry and cream something?
Yeah, licorice.
We got a little treat?
Oh. Never mind.
Yeah.
Leave me in my weird
I'm no
taste
longer
alone.
interested. I thought maybe it was like.
Hey, more for you, less for us. It's all good.
Yeah.
Thank you to Clay Brown.
Sorry, child.
For 5 each.
Child, if you would give me my foot, I would stop smacking you, but you're standing on my leg. And, I can't.
Unfortunately, yeah, the suspicious meter is getting a little high from
From the number of times I've smacked my daughter in the face.
Yeah.
But she's literally standing on my leg. I don't know what to do here.
Going to learn. I can't think
There we
of,
go.
simultaneously less helpful and more helpful advice to give in this game than maybe try smacking your child with a lamp glass. Have you considered, just a suggestion, maybe doing that less frequently?
Not as many times,
Don't do that, maybe?
As a possibility. Perhaps simply do not
Just not to be
smack your child.
insuspicious,
Oh no, she's
I
scared.
forgot I was scared.
Forgot I was scared. Yep, you're scared. It's a great child. I think this is the way through.
I can't find you. It's too dark.
There was a, looked like there might have been a door on the left.
I thought it was you and held his hand and it took me and raised me as his daughter, but it was a monster. That'd be alright.
Yeah, see that little space?
It's a sign.
Yeah, but there's a...
Oh, right, and now I have to not get
Dang it. Why is it so dark down here?
got by
Did
the
a fuse
marine
blow?
biologist.
Oh no!
I believe in you.
It's one of those science men that you're afraid of. Give me the shaky lights. Thanks, Dad.
Excuse me, little girl.
Now. What? I am
you,
but a
Stacey.
jellyfish. Glow, glow.
That was the majestic hall of
That's how you
jellyfish.
ride.
Were
Yes.
you entranced? I bet you were.
Well. Hope your light's working.
paint by numbers, but with lights.
We'll have to go to maintenance.
Did that. Noted adept at electrical engineering.
Hold on, Dad. I'm coming over to help.
Thanks, Stacey.
It's very dad-coded of him to be like, oh,
Yeah.
I can figure this one out.
Dad.
We don't need to call somebody, I got it.
I think I got some
Yeah,
tools
give me an hour
in the
to
shed.
load.
I think the way we learned that our house electricity was going to be a problem is when my
I
dad,
found these little
who was
glow
like,
sticks, but I don't know
Chief,
how long they're
oh,
gonna
don't
burn
worry,
up
I
the
got it,
darkness.
was like, oh, no.
It's because we tried to replace one of our ceiling light fixtures, so we opened up the panel behind the switch for it to go look at the wiring, and the previous owners had spray painted all of the wires white, so we couldn't tell which was the ground and
You
which
didn't do
was...
that. How
yeah.
will you know to cut the red wire?
We
That's like a
were-
fucking saw
Spray
trap.
painted.
Yeah.
It's like
The only thing that could thwart Tom Cruise is the landlord
Ketchup is
special.
red, though.
You know?
New Mission Impossible movie where it's just
bum,
the
bum,
people are
bum.
really
Just
shitty
doing
with their traps.
renovations.
Yeah. Tom Cruise is navigating an HOA instead of, like,
Yeah.
an evil organization that's on the global scale.
I'd watch it. I
Still
just-
inarguably evil, but, like, with, you know, fucking landlord quality traps.
I mean, a
Better
little bit of a USB stick experience in number 8, if you know, you know, but we'll save that for later.
And the interest of not making this the entirely Mission Impossible stream.
Okay,
I
that
love when
went
they do
surprisingly
this
smoothly. Why does it have
But I
such
love
big
when they'll
teeth?
just do
I don't know,
couple
man.
bums, you know? They'll do like bum, 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 and then the soundtrack will cut out while they do the rest of the scene. I love when they tease you with it. They're like,
Yeah.
here's a little hint. You know you have a big score to pick
Yeah.
up.
It's happening.
hits
It's
every
gonna
time.
happen.
Ooh, you know it's coming.
Shine lights in his eyes, Dad. Dad, I think there is something
Oh, it's
really
angry.
scary in here.
You need to line them up on the numbers.
Okay. Where's the 2?
It's the right eye.
That's what lives in my closet.
There you go. Plot twist, the HOA is an evil globe-spanning organization.
I feel like this is actually just the plot of like Codename Kids Next Door is what we've kind of found.
Oh, that
ourselves
is
into.
exactly what that is.
I think maybe we've just reinvented the wheel a little bit
Where's
here.
3? Oh, there it is.
Witness the amazingly cuddly snugglefish.
yeah, the amazingly
A
cuddly
stuffed
snugglefish.
snugglefish toy makes a killer gift.
Merchandising.
Oh, there's a tie on there.
Where?
There's a tie on top of the snugglefish.
This
Well,
fish
guess
makes a
who's getting
plush toy
climbed?
that is to die
Wasn't our
for.
son that said he
So
wanted to
cute,
climb
you'll
something
say,
condemned?
I want
Yes.
to eat you up.
Hell yeah, kiddo.
Nope, come on, get your feet back out. Up. Up.
Where did Mommy's
Where'd the teeth go? They were never there. There were no teeth.
vampires?
What are you talking about?
Do I-
Teeth?
Girl boss gaslight gatekeeper.
Not here, but down there.
Use your suction cups, dude.
I bet fish have really busy lives too.
This game goes from Quap to GURP real fast.
What?
GURP is another game by Bennett Foddy, but you have to climb.
How does one GURP?
There are letters for the different
No,
handholds
not
and-
in GURP.
Oh.
What's a shark's favorite sandwich?
David for the $20.
Peanut butter.
Blah, 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 I don't know.
Jellyfish.
I just want to climb.
I simply want to
Climb
gurp.
the fish.
Unicorns are made of chewed up bubblegum and trash bags. I read that once in a book I wrote.
I was told there was a thing here. And now I'm stuck between the fish and the wall. There may be a ladder in the maintenance room.
At a certain level, aren't we all stuck between the fish and the wall?
Those are glow sticks.
It's my favorite Pink Floyd song.
Stuck between the fish and the wall.
It scans. Unfortunately, it scans.
Unfortunately, it's
Fish and the wall. I'm gonna get stuck in between the fish and the
So my
wall.
experience at the wedding over the weekend was there was not a ton of dancing, but at one point near the very end they played Pink Pony Club, and I was basically
cute.
the only guy in a group of Cyan and her sisters and cousins, and then some like friends of the couple who we didn't know. And I was doing like little kind of like, you know, tiny little dance.
Tiny
'cause
little
it
white
wasn't,
boy dance.
It wasn't a, you know, it wasn't really a poppin' dance floor. There were like 8 of us and that was it. And then one of the cousins was like, "Oh my god, like look at Blue." And I'm like, "No, listen. Pink Pony Club is a generational masterpiece. Hot to Go is a fad, but Pink Pony Club is iconic and will live with us forever as a treasure."
And my sisters obviously were like, ugh.
Yeah, but then like the other like girls on the other side of the group who we didn't know were like, "He's right. He's right though.
Not
He's
the
fully
one,
He's not lying,
correct."
but he's right.
So what people need to realize is my sisters are all younger than me. And sisters A, B, and C met Blue when they were still in high school. And actually, I think sister C might have still been in middle school. So in many ways, he's like the older brother they never asked for. So occasionally he does things and they're like, ugh, because he's like way too old in their mind, even though he and I are literally the same age.
Which is funny because you of course get 3 younger sisters you never asked for.
Oh yeah, your mom on the
Keep
other
telling
hand.
you to get a TikTok account.
That's because they know
Oh.
what pisses you off.
Yeah.
They like to poke the bear. You are the bear. Okay, I was just up there.
Oh. David Stansfield Garner says, "Thank you so much for bringing awareness to EDS. I'm on the board of one of the largest U.S. nonprofits helping patients, providers, and families with EDS. Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Thank you so
you,
much for
David.
checking out our stream.
Yeah.
David, you got any information to share with everyone? Feel free. You have the chat. I would say you have the floor, but Octodad is actively trying to climb.
You have the scrolling wall of text.
Maybe Blue, you could keep an eye out in case David
I'll
has
take a
anything
look. I'll
to
take a
say.
look. Maybe we let the tie
I
go.
want the tie. I'm just so floppy.
Maybe
It's
there's
a
another.
no bones day.
Well, there's no other way to get to it.
Darn.
I think it's gotta be that.
At least people stop being suspicious of me smacking my child.
Yeah. Well, he's not destroying his daughter's hat by whacking it with a lamp, but he is destroying the exhibit.
You sound like mommy when she sees the house after you make breakfast.
No one's down here. No one knows it was me.
Jay Wilson says, "The stream is making me realize I have EDS. Talk to your doctor."
Talk to your doctor.
Talk to your doctor if you might have EDS.
Our perennial
Ask your
statement,
doctor if EDS is right for you.
It's not.
Back to you in the studio.
One note is that when you go talk to your doctor, unless your doctor knows a lot about genetic conditions, they might not know about EDS, so you might want to bring some paperwork that basically explains a little bit about EDS. The EDS Society has great resources for this.
We have 2 books out called Graceful Strength and Graceful Journeys, says David. Graceful Strength is about EDS and its common comorbidities. Has a basic section for primary care physicians. That is super cool.
That is really helpful.
So get a copy of Graceful Strength and bring it to your appointment.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shadow Spring, also for the $50.
Dad, I can't go up there.
Dad, I can't go up there. I'm not Tommy. I follow the rules, bro. Could you just not be?
Stacy just teleports up to the top.
I'm gonna fix the elevator. But yeah, the thing about having a good doctor is it's not that they necessarily know everything, because no doctor can know everything about every condition. And again, if they do, they're lying. There's just physically not enough room in the human brain. However, a good doctor will instead be like, hey, I don't know about this, but I can look it up, and then we can discuss it together. So, talk to your doctor. And make sure your doctor wants to, like, talk about things. Oh, good. My child got up here.
Oh no, another one.
Again!
Someone who's an
Bro.
expert in the particular thing that you are interested in. So, like, you know, whether it maybe they're not. It's the reason you get referrals for like a dermatologist or something, right? Like, you start from your primary care doctor, have an open conversation, go from there.
Anything he or she wants.
Is this one moving faster? I feel
This
like
does feel like the final boss of Octodad in a way. This whole.
Unfortunately,
It's
this
not the
is
chef,
like
it's one
the
escalator.
second.
You gotta switch it so it works right.
Don't get back on there.
Not too far.
Stairs.
Don't.
Random art team. Stairs with attitude.
Look at me, I'm a ballerina.
Thank you for
If
visiting
your doctor
the
is
deep
suspiciously
ocean.
like a
Were you
cephalopod, then perhaps they are a
undelighted?
marine biologist
I bet
and not a
you
doctor.
weren't.
They want to get that looked at.
Yeah. Or they could just
maybe
be
they
a
would
really
be
good
able to help.
dad.
It's
They
true.
could just be a
Trying
loving
to
father.
provide for
You
their
don't know. You
biological
don't know,
kid.
frankly.
Someone commented just now, this aquarium is not disability friendly, and someone also
This is
commented at
true.
the beginning that the church is not disability friendly. This game, like,
Yeah.
weirdly actually kind of does a good job of showing how accessibility can be very important
Yeah.
in design of spaces.
You're telling me there's a real-world application for the idea of what if you wanted to do this thing but your legs didn't work the way you wanted them to?
Look at all this learning.
Yes.
Come on, Dad. Let's get through all this junk so we can get out of here.
I love that this,
The world of kelp.
World of Kelp.
Travel
Oh,
the
Kelp
world
World.
of kelp.
All my
How
homies
fast
love
can
Kelp
you have
World.
the world's kelp forests?
You got so genuinely excited in a way I wasn't expecting.
Oh my god, can we go to World of Kelp? Guys, I love World of Kelp.
Mom convinced me to go to the world
I
of
don't
kelp.
understand.
Kelp Zero? Gotta get those numbers up.
How does this
Dad,
work?
I'm
You
gonna
grab
turn
the
this
globe and move it
fun
around, and then you hit the
educational
little
day
buttons.
So you don't grab the
sports-educational
little
day.
globe, you
No.
grab the big globe. Okay.
The balls are just for you globe heads out there that
Come on, Dad.
like globes.
Stop being a slug.
You like globes.
I do like globes. I have a globe.
You have multiple globes.
Nario sisters, they're green. Go, Dad, go.
Don't understand. I don't understand. What buttons am I supposed to press?
It's the green ones? Yeah, green ones.
Green button
Lunia,
in the kelp exhibit.
find him, Dad.
Groundbreaking. I don't really want to do the work today. I don't really
Oh, I remember
I
that.
don't really want to do the work today.
What's that from?
I don't know. I've only seen it in a 15-second Tumblr video.
Yeah.
Some sort of Star Kid musical. I believe.
Oh, that is what that is.
Dad, Laminaria is yellow. Hurry,
I don't
hit
know
all
the
three.
one.
It's
But
the,
Spin the earth as hard as
they're
you
all like
can.
prehistoric outfits.
yeah.
Doing that kind of thing, yeah.
I didn't realize that Angela from Smosh was also on Star Kid. She told a funny story in a clip of she needed like a gun prop for a scene, but like it wasn't on her costume, so she just pulled out a finger gun instead. It was like, fuck it,
Wow.
we ball.
Sometimes you just gotta improvise.
Yeah.
I've had more of the Parks and Rec. Don't be suspicious. Don't be
Don't be
suspicious. Stuck in my head this entire stream.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
Suspicious.
I don't know what score I was supposed to get on the globe game, but it ain't gonna be good.
You can upload this to your PlayStation account and go head to head with all the other kelp heads out there.
Cheer your high score on the kelp leaderboards.
In Kankakee.
In Kankakee. Oh man, have we explained the Kankakee joke to
I
the
don't
chat
think
yet?
I
so.
don't think we have.
I don't think it's managed to breach containment into stream.
I don't know what it is that you're talking about at this exact
Okay,
moment.
so I have a friend who lives in central Illinois, and at one point I was taking the train to there from Chicago. and the conductor was doing like fairly regular announcements for most of the towns. It would be like, now stopping in Springfield or whatever, next stop Springfield, doors open to the left at Springfield. As we started approaching Kankakee, he sort of started being like hyping it up, like now
Possessed
approaching
by
the
an ancient
shining
evil.
the shining shores of Kankakee. The streets are paved with gold in the beautiful town of Kankakee. And then like when we actually reached Kankakee, it's like, this stop Kankakee, let all your dreams come true in the beautiful streets of Kankakee. And then it was like, all right, next stop, Urbana-Champaign. I was like, what the fuck got into this guy? So I
he
just
was
sort of
cursed
like,
by Kankakee.
we assume that he was like overpowered by some sort of eldritch deity that resides in Kankakee. So it just kind of turned into this like bit of like anytime we'd see Kankakee on like a street sign, it's like, now approaching the shining halls of Kankakee. A couple of our friends got married in Urbana-Champaign, so we also had to take this route again, and it was just like, and then we actually stopped in Kankakee, and you had the worst McDonald's experience of your life in Kankakee.
It took fully like 40 minutes to
then they
get
were just like
a milkshake and some fries.
I forgot about your milkshake,
Yeah, they were like, what did you order? And we're like, I mean, could we have just told you, like, whatever we wanted?
Yeah. That's always a bad question when, like, the people who work the food service are like, what did you order? It's like, oh, is there not a system for this? Are we doing the honor system? Okay. But yeah,
More
so
reasons why-
the Golden Shores...
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, the Golden Shores of Kankakee have become a bit of a running gag. Sacrifice your firstborn to the soybean fields of Kankakee.
And then I lost my job right after we went to Kankakee.
That was the other reason why Kankakee is cursed. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yet more reasons why, like, bullshit, like, digital kiosks and, like, touch, sensors things for restaurants is like, just let me talk to a person. This is gonna be the boomer hill that I die on. I hate all this technology shit that they keep forcing in that never works.
I will say, when they do work, I like not having to talk to a person to get my donut and coffee on the road, That part's kind of nice.
Big if. Big if.
A big if. But when it does, I like having the option. I remember at one point, actually I think this was a flight you were on. We were doing some kind of class trip and I was motion sick and we stopped at like a layover and I was like, I'm barely a human being, but I need food. And they had one of those like, just order at the iPad and they just bring you the thing you order and pay for. And I was like, oh, thank fuck. I can just get food and a ginger soda in me, and I don't need to try and be a human being to talk to a human to do it, which I thought was nice. That was nice.
I do feel like generally I'm kind of on the blue side of it. If they work, I guess they're fine. Airports are the exception. I would love not having to interact with any other human. Never at an airport.
Yeah.
What are the gas-filled bladders that help kelp float?
My
Touch the
dad
top of the kelp
used to
and
work at Hyatt, and he was on the team that like did some of the reservation system stuff, and they were putting in these like check-in kiosks in the lobbies of the hotels, so you could do that instead of going to like talk to the person at the front desk. And every time we went to a hotel, he would use the kiosk to see if they worked, and they never did, and he was always pissed about it.
I'm like, I don't mind having to check in with someone at a hotel. I feel like that's a perfectly reasonable job for a human to still do. Like, I would like them to be able to look at a calendar and understand the information beyond, is the state insert data here,
Yeah, we just, when we were at the hotel for my cousin's wedding, they had like this whole online key thing. And the thing is, they changed our room after the initial check-in because then we would be closer to where the rest of my family was, for better or for worse. Just kidding, I love y'all. And so they moved us to a different room, and the online key still thought we were in the old room.
I wonder who would have let us in.
I didn't want to try.
Have I mentioned the fucking, like, the Seattle hotel room I was in that felt like I was in a goddamn escape room?
Oh yeah,
it was
you said
really
the
weird.
theme was technology.
Yeah, well, it was a very tech-forward hotel. It was one of the first hotels I went to that was like, here's your digital key. It goes on your phone. It will automatically unlock when you get near. I was like, okay, that feels like a massive security hole, but whatever, convenience, okay. But like, the thing I noticed is that I couldn't figure out how to turn off the TV, because I was like, literally searching the back. I was like, where's the power button? There must be a power button somewhere. Where's the remote? And the thing is, This was foreshadowed, because when I got in, as I was checking in, someone called the front desk, and they... Yeah, well, they picked it up, and the person on the other end was complaining that they didn't have a TV remote in their room, and they were like, oh, well, okay, we'll get one sent up to you. And so when I went into the room, and I was like, there's no TV remote here, I was like, okay, once would be coincidence, twice is enemy action, something's going on with this fucking hotel. Why don't we get TV remotes? And as I was, like, literally scanning the room for interactable objects, I was like, wait a minute, that alarm clock on the desk has a suspiciously large screen, and I picked it up, and it had, like, in little text, it was like, try saying, hey, Alexa, do this thing. And I was like, oh, it's one of these. So I was, like, trying to...
and click to tell, like, Nancy Drew game, and that...
Well, this was desperate, because I couldn't figure out how to turn off the TV, and it was fucking bright, and I needed to sleep. I was, like, literally on the clock there. So it's like, okay, so I need Alexa to turn off the fucking TV. How do I do it? And I tried saying it, and it didn't work. I was like, okay, what's going on? And there was like a carousel of things showing on the TV, and one of them was a QR code with like commands. I was like, okay, and I waited for it to scan back around so that I could scan it with my phone before it fucking disappeared again, because I had no means of controlling the TV. And when I scanned it, it took me to a webpage that was like, how to use this hotel room, and I was like, this is insanity.
Alexa, detonate EMP.
Well, and it didn't even have like an answer for like, what if you want to make the TV go away? It was just like, for instance, try saying, hey Alexa, ask the hotel to turn on the TV. And I was like, okay, I have to ask the hotel. I have to tell Alexa to ask the hotel. And I was like, hey Alexa, ask the hotel to turn off the TV. And the TV blinked off, and I was like, oh my god! It worked, but at what fucking cost? And I was like this close to just fucking unplugging it from the wall if I could figure out where it was plugged in, because like, it was really weird. This is one of many reasons why me and Seattle and the West Coast in general don't get along the greatest, but like that one was probably the most surreal experience I've had.
How did you get up there that fast?
He wanted to climb something condemned.
This isn't condemned.
He's gonna be doing urban exploration in 5 years.
Is he throwing spike balls at me?
Make sure he's up to date on his shots.
At least
those are the urchins that are trying to attack the kelp.
Am I the kelp?
Well, I guess.
You gotta pretend.
I called it an enemy stance attack. That's really what it felt like. I was in someone's fucking domain expansion. I couldn't get out.
Ow. Ow. Ow.
Yeah, so the correct amount of software is usually 0.
Where's your sense of gravity? What does that even mean?
And especially after watching Final Reckoning, I'm like, the correct amount of software is always 0.
So what you're saying is I can get an iPod again?
Yes.
Please, get a Walkman instead.
We don't
Get
have
it from
any
under Apple's
CDs.
thumb.
Get a
Oh,
guy with a violin to follow you around.
Listen, I don't plan on buying a new iPad. I fully plan on finding somewhere that refurbishes them. Doink.
You managed to re-energize an old Kindle, so it's off the Amazon ecosystem now.
No one cares. I don't think Amazon cares about Gen 3 Kindles anymore.
If they did, they would still support them.
Amazon smelled money in the water. They're coming for us now.
I've been on record. I'm keeping my 2013 laptop going to the day it fucking explodes.
Guys,
Gonna be doing some real unethical science on that thing to give it unnatural immortality.
So if anyone was wondering what it feels like when I try to bounce on things with EDS, it feels a lot like this. Unironic. Okay. Come on. Please. 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 Hey, have we hit 1,000 yet? Do we get co-op mode yet?
We can lower the threshold.
No, it's okay.
We're at $650.
We are at $652.
Okay, friends,
so...
if you want this to be a little less painful, you know the drill.
Free Cyan from her endless purgatory.
Octodad less painful is done by making a second-person control on their
I know.
Let her delegate her limbs.
Boing.
Also, we can add a second.
Boing.
We can add a second incentive as well to do at the same time as co-op,
Sure.
like lightning round.
I think
can
a
add
lightning
round.
round alongside co-op would be a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Mostly because
Yeah.
neither Blue nor I would have any idea what's going on.
Thank you
Amazing.
to
Alright, so if
Marissa Smith and to Anonymouses for the 50.
Who is chucking things at me?
Your asshole son.
My son's an ass.
My child,
I should have
please.
hit him and not my daughter.
So as a reminder, if we get to $1,000 donated towards the Ehlers-Danlos Society, Blue and Cyan will simultaneously be doing some co-op chaos in Octodad, while Red and I attempt to guide all of us through a simultaneous lightning round, which for those of you who don't listen to the podcast, like, what are you doing? You should listen to the Overly Sarcastic podcast, available on all fine podcasting platforms.
Hell yeah.
You can, the lightning rounds are one recurring bit where we take pieces of media. More recently, people have started putting in things like food items and animals as well, but like anything that exists in the world. And we will, as quickly as possible, say if we have watched it, read it, seen it, and if we have, very briefly, again, did we like it? And I really am stressing the brief part of this because
we're
we
really
so
bad at that
are not
part
brief.
specifically.
Yeah, what we'll probably do is set a timer for 5 minutes, take whatever we see in the chat in that 5-minute time and be like, oh yeah, I've seen that, I've not seen that, and save our lengthier discussions for after the 5-minute timer is up.
Exactly.
Make
That's
things
what we're
fair.
saying
Almost
now. This is never once how we have actually executed it, even though it has been the plan.
No,
every time.
no.
Lift left, lift left.
I'm trying.
Lift up left.
I'm trying.
That's left trigger. Move it around a little bit. It's probably stuck on something.
No. Guys, I hate this.
All right, thank you to
amount of
Anthony
immediate
DiVirgilio and to Lynn Elliott for your 20s and 2 more in that
Is this where I'm supposed
We're
to be?
rapidly approaching.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Just
Don't
hold
fall.
on.
Don't
This is
fall.
way better than American Ninja Warrior.
Don't fall.
I think they sort of cheat you up through the hole in that platform.
Oh, they
They-
fully
they
did
do.
do that.
They just slurp you up.
Slurp.
Thank you for visiting the world
Thank you
of
for
Kelp.
visiting World of Kelp. I
Please
really
donate
wish I
or
had
buy
it.
Kelp merchandise.
The like giddy excitement with which Blue was like, oh my god, World of Kelp! Just so charming
Honestly,
compared to
if you
the
want to
absolute
have a real
misery.
Octodad experience, this museum's structure is not super different from that of the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia.
It
Like,
really
there's the same
isn't.
kind
There
of
we go.
level
Now I
of
smacked
activity.
the correct child.
It's great fun. I can't recommend it enough. It's a great museum. There's a lot of things you can climb in there.
Also,
it's
just-
remarkably like the Octodad
Just,
setting.
just a reminder: don't actually hit your children.
Yeah,
OSP does not condone
Decided to go
child
to
hurt.
DC.
Child violence. It's only okay if you're an octopus and therefore squishy.
Yeah.
Take your child.
And as we know, we are all
You
normal
guys will
humans.
climb to the brain.
Biologists are up to something.
I'm not an octopus, but I do scream.
Yes, officer, I am a normal man.
Well, we are less than
Amazon
$100
arcade.
away from that lightning round co-op situation.
Yeah, jeez. Hello, Scarlett. Why are you in the arcade? Can we talk?
Well, we're alone
In
without
the
kids.
arcades?
Honey,
Oh, I forgot about this part. Oh man.
I thought the aquarium was more educational.
Someday
backwards.
I'll be strong enough to pull the snake.
John Human Man here.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's a strength thing.
And you walk.
I wonder what our lives will be like once our kids grow up and move away. Maybe we'll finally
Come
have
on.
time to travel.
Come on. Come on.
You're walking at a little bit of an angle, maybe more straight to camera.
Maybe I need to only be holding it with one arm.
I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've done this.
Doink.
There we go. That was suddenly so easy.
One prize for my darling wife,
Thank you, Luigi Boy and Mars.
who I
for
will
your
not
20s.
communicate with at any point, because that would require us talking about me being an octopus. Ow,
These
yes.
strange incidents keep happening and you brush them off like they're nothing.
Brush
when
them
your
off
foot
like
got
they're
caught in a
nothing?
ceiling
Yeah.
fan, or when we ran out of
Communication
center
and
ink we just
honesty are the
made more.
foundation of every great
And I keep
relationship,
buying
except
new
for
toothbrushes and
Octodad,
then
where the
finding them
key
in
to
the
the good
trash.
relationship is just hiding the fact that you octopus for as long as humanly possible.
Pump it up.
You know, Octodad was born in the wrong generation. If he was just trying to be like a silent, stoic man of the house back in like the 1950s, he would have been fucking fine. But in today's like woke age of therapy and caring about your fucking children, the expectations are so much higher on this poor guy.
Speaking of
Ernest Hemingway would have
expectations,
fucking loved Octodad.
Blue, I believe you promised me Thai food.
Yeah, I'll place an order. Yep. All right.
Oh, I should think about what to do for lunch. I kind of speed ran breakfast today, what with the pastries and the Nutella cold brew coffee. So
I'm getting Popeyes later, which I'm pretty psyched about. Spicy
Ooh,
chicken
that's
sandwich
good,
here I
that's
come,
good.
baby.
There was that time you
man,
were
what am I feeling? I feel like I gotta like Ouija board this shit sometimes. Like usually it's not like, oh, I'm really hungry for this thing. It's like I'm hungry, but what for? And then I have to be like, well, am I feeling like steak? No. Maybe sushi, and maybe a little bit.
I
It's
just
like,
need
it's like
to
I'm
make
dousing.
sure. I just need to make sure people know that this is basket the balls before I basket the balls.
Basketballs.
I don't think this
Yeah,
is going to be
I-
one of the ones I can do, but let's find out. Do we have to do all of the games?
I usually... Yes.
Stay safe.
Yes, yes, you do.
Fuck.
Sorry, no part of the game is optional.
You know.
You just really have to prove that you love your wife.
This is like the plot of a teen movie. Like, if you really loved me, you'd sink those 6 shots.
Oh, I will.
Also the plot of
Hold
Air
on.
Bud. I guess that's only
Totally.
tangentially relevant.
There we go. 1,
That guy's cheating.
2, 3.
$30 to free Cyan from her torment.
4,
Oh, sorry,
5,
23.
6. Oh my god. Look how good I am. Look,
Yeah.
guys, I'm so good at basketing the balls.
You're a master of the basketing the balls.
Don't mind me, dude.
Can you get through the hoop? See if you can get through the hoop.
Fine. Should I get through this guy's hoop or my own hoop?
Oh, yeah, that guy's hoop might be a little. I mean, have you even had a date yet? Like, that's like fourth base.
Sir, you have a wife.
And she's in the room.
And she's gonna watch me become a basketball.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you, Anonymous, for the $100 donation,
Oh my
which
God.
does put us above $1,000.
Yeah.
And also thank you, Marissa Smith, for donating exactly the $23 we needed to reach
Oh,
1,000
amazing.
seconds later.
Yay! Now it's a nice even number. So that means, Blue, if you get ready to jump onto that
Yes.
co-op, and I am going to set a 5-minute timer. So we are going to do a lightning round chat. So go ahead and put in your suggestions for things, and then we're just gonna start pulling names. And if there's any of these, it's bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Give myself a
Yeah.
break from drawing
I was
mermaids.
gonna say, I get exactly
Looks like
2
the
things
Yes, you do.
from this Thai restaurant.
Forever, huh?
Kingdom Hearts haven't played it, know it by reputation. One Piece live action is good, and everyone should watch it.
Oh, did we already start the
watched
timer? Because
actual,
Blue did not start the co-op.
I know. I'm ordering food.
Yeah.
So-
I watched original animated One Piece and I like it a lot, but I don't want to watch any more One Piece, even if it's a different format. I feel like that's
Oh, One Piece live action is good. I think they just confirmed season 2. I'm excited for it. It's really funny to be able to say that I've watched all of One Piece, all 8 episodes. Lab Psycho 100, I know by
Right. Can you
reputation.
press the pause button? The top right. And
Magnus
then
Archives,
do
hell
co-op
yeah.
on. I don't think.
I haven't
my
seen
God,
Hunter
there's so
Bunch
many.
yet. I was gonna wait till it came to streaming because I had to use my time watching movies last month in theaters to go see a Minecraft movie.
Roulette mode. Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon? Friggin' obviously. Minoan octopus art? Hell yeah, best kind of octopus.
Which one of us is what?
I'm red, so I've got the legs.
Ha! I'm Cyan. Look at me.
Scandal!
Hey, we need to pick up that prize, dude. We need it. We need
Yu-Gi-Oh!
it.
The movie, which Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie? Pyramid of Light?
Pyramid of
Pyramid
Light.
Slap.
I
Pyramid
got
of
a
Light.
special Blue Eye Shining Dragon when I went to go see that movie.
Remember when we
Oh,
went to
hell
the
yeah.
Decorator
I mean, that's the entire
That's
point
the
of the
one-
movie.
Yeah.
bakery burned
That's the one
down.
with the song "You're Not Me" in it, right? When he flies the jet that looks
Yeah.
like a dragon.
Can we play
Yes.
this game?
I remember that.
Yeah, can you grab the... Stop wiggling
Oh,
your
that
arm
one.
and grab the joystick.
I'm trying to remember. I
my
recently
God.
described something as having the exact same plot as Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie Pyramid of Light. Now I can't remember what it was. That's unfortunate. Because it had the exact same, like, I hoped you fools would destroy each other, but it seems I must step in and do it myself.
Can we just, like...
anyway.
Are we able to
I
go
have,
into this again?
Read a little bit of the manga of it. It's very
Wait,
good.
can
Oh,
I-
Apothecary
can we
Diary,
just,
yeah,
like, go
uh,
through the bottom there?
I'm
You need,
pretty
like,
up to date
a-
on the anime.
Yeah, there's so many ways to
got the
consume the
legs.
Apothecary Diaries because it exists in like.
Yeah,
all
you
of
could
the
do the light novels, you
Roulette
could do the
every
manga,
adventure.
you could do the other manga, you could do the anime.
manga.
Okay, come on.
I've been
In
enjoying
we
the
go,
anime.
In we go. In we go. Almost there. Aha. Okay.
I tried Ruby and I couldn't do it. I've watched all of
Go.
Centaur World and I'm still not sure why.
There's a tie in there.
Blue Exorcist.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Blue Exorcist. That's a word I haven't
I
heard
fucking
in a
loved
long
Blue
time.
Exorcist back in the day, y'all.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
on
Learning the
that-
game for the rest
on
of
that
us?
list.
Good. Fuck you.
It's a very
I have
back in the
one-
day kind of anime.
It's too loud.
Yeah, I have one issue of Shonen Jump because for exactly 1 year I got Shonen Jump in middle school and I felt like the coolest weeb in the world. But the one issue that I held on to after all these does have a cover that is Blue Exorcist. It's living on my bookshelf forever.
Yeah, so you need to let go of that.
Free Rim Beyond Journey's End is good.
Dr.
just
House,
adjusted
I
the,
haven't really
the
watched
volume a little bit.
House, but I did see House in Sense and Sensibility recently, which I thought was very fun.
Right, like
I forgot that he was in
Strange Eons is my go-to YouTube channel for Tumblr history, and she's going to DashCon to duel the Muppet Joker, so everybody should stay tuned for that. I'm very excited.
You know what? Tell me later.
I think I've already explained the Muppet Joker to you, actually. You probably protectively blocked it out.
Okay. It sounds
Slay the
unsettlingly familiar.
Slay the Princess.
Blue.
I know by reputation. I've watched other people play
You
it.
have the entire right side.
Oh, I do.
Okay, here we go.
Transformers
Whack-a-mole.
Sky Children of Light. I've played. It's cute. It's one of those games that sort of provokes infinite replaying. So similar to Minecraft, I sort of petered out on it, but it was cute. Lilo and Stitch, the original animated movie. Hell the fuck yeah! I've heard
So good.
only terrible things about the new one, so maybe don't watch it. Like, oopsie's accidentally promoting fucking colonialism bad, whereas the original is very strongly anti-colonialist, anti-tourism. I just feel like one where a Lilo and Stitch adaptation where Lilo ends the movie as a ward of the state
We're
feels like it's
usually
fundamentally
so
completely failed to understand what made
Oh,
Lilo
we
and
have to
Stitch.
play this dude?
That's
Yeah, I'm not afraid to fucking spoil that. Don't watch the movie. Don't give Disney more money for this shit. Stop encouraging their behavior.
Duck Detective is a really great little game where you are a duck detective.
Yes.
I love
Pretty
Duck
short, but it's
Detective.
a lot of fun.
The new one just came out like last week. The Ghost of Glamping.
Yeah. Very
Girl
charming.
Genius is a comic I've been reading since I was basically able to read. It's a very, very long-running comic that
Where's
started
the
off as an indie
prize?
comic and became a webcomic. Go read it. It's fun.
Did we do
Oh,
this
I couldn't
one?
tell you a goddamn
We
thing.
did
but
not,
a
but
lot
we
of
only have to
Generator
give her
Rex,
one
I
more
know I watched
prize.
it.
I watched all of Generator
Which
Rex earlier
means-
this year.
Whoever told me we had to play all the games fully lied.
Sorry.
It's from a very specific era of like Cartoon Network where it was like it's the Ben 10 where he's older and
Yep. Alien Force.
Generator Rex and I think like Symbiotic Titan and they just all had the exact same vibe in a weird way.
Generator Rex and
They all-
Alien Force crossed over. Ben 10 and Rex hung
Yeah.
out. And like the thing is, like, having watched Generator Rex, I don't want to be mean. I understand why it was nowhere near as popular as Ben 10. It is simply harder to follow.
Sure.
There's way more plot, and also, they jumped to the finale and then retroactively explained a bunch of shit that I was watching it had not previously been established. They were like, yeah, we found out this secret cabal of billionaires made the nanomachines so they could become immortal. And I was like, we found that out, did we? That was a thing that we found out? Anyway, so it's very charming in a lot of ways, but I think it is better to watch like episode by episode where you can kind of assume, like peppered in episodes rather than all the way through, because then you can assume that the other episodes will make it make sense, even though they actually
That's how I
don't.
experienced it because I would just see whatever was on when I turned the TV on, and so it was
Got
much
the
experience.
legs.
Return of the Obra Dinn is really good. I like that game a lot in terms of like puzzle games. It's got a vibe that I've never been able to quite replicate with any other game, and I think a big part of it is that it looks so like drawn in that way. It's very, very
Yeah.
fun. I like it a lot.
And that's a case of graphical style being informed by limits of the medium, and it looks really, really good.
Looks great. It's a great puzzle game experience that you really get some heft out of. We
Scarlet
are
snuck
at
into
over the
the
time for the lightning round. I'm happy to keep going for a few more minutes. Should I add some time to the clock?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, may as well,
little,
I guess.
little more.
2 more minutes. 2 bonus minutes of lightning round.
Yeah. Oh, Gundam Witch from Mercury. I've watched it. It's quite good.
I wonder if there's something in the trash.
Bone graphic novel. Yes, I've read it. It's good. I read it when I was really little, and then I recently reread it to see if it made more sense, and it did.
No.
I haven't seen Sinners yet. I'm looking forward to it. I have a plan to do something called Vampire Weekend, which I know is a band name, but also it's a thing that I'm going to do where I'm going to watch Abigail, Nosferatu, and Sinners back to back to back, and all in one day, and I'm going to have a Vampire Week. So
I've heard
TBD.
only good things about
I've heard
Sinners.
everything I've heard about Sinners is amazing, and also
Yeah.
the trailers didn't let me know that it was a vampire movie, which gives me a lot of really high hopes.
Yeah. If I wasn't such a weenie about horror, I would have watched it already, but
Let's
see.
Vampires almost don't feel like horror to me at a certain point where I'm like, this is not scary anymore.
I
Like,
disagree, but that's okay.
Advertise.
Yeah.
Oh, what about this far one here?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Hollow Knight. We tried to play that on stream at one
I
point.
was really
a long
bad
time
at
ago.
it.
Hollow Knight has a very high skill ceiling and a pretty unforgiving skill floor, so it was probably rough to be like, I'm playing it for the first time on stream.
Why is the one
But I've watched
Didn't we
I
just find one?
I love the Professor Layton games. They're
might be,
extremely fun, but no one in
subdivided
this
by
world
section.
loves Professor Layton games more than Noir from Rolling with Difficulty loves
Noir,
Professor
yes.
Layton
He's
games.
the biggest Professor Layton fan.
When we were
When
in
we were
Iceland,
seeing the Nintendo Direct, yeah.
yeah, in Iceland
I watched
for
him
the
cry seeing the new game announced.
It was really funny because we were all hype waiting for Tears of the Kingdom, and Noir was the one who lost his fucking mind over Professor Layton first. We were like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah, Noir and I both got fed in different ways because I was waiting for any Fire Emblem. I think it was the same director they announced Fire Emblem Engage for the game. Oh no, you're naked.
I see someone asked about solo leveling. Solo leveling can eat our ass because they claimed one of our designs on Redbubble.
Really?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Redbubble. Okay, people who know more shit about solo leveling than I do, which is anything, will need to tell me about this. We had a design up on Redbubble. Chernobog, a Slavic deity. Someone asked me for it when I was doing Patreon chibi requests. I drew it. I later put it on Redbubble because it's just, it's a god. It was my own design because he doesn't really have a solid visual design. And then Redbubble sent us a very apologetic email that was like, hey, we took down your design because somebody said it was their copyrighted material and we didn't check. They did this to us previously with my Deus Ex Machina design, which was, frankly, I'm really proud of it. It was like an angel being descended by a lattice of rigging hung on the stars and the celestial spheres. Anyway, it was really cool. And then a motorcycle design company called Deus Ex Machina Motorcycles claimed it because it had the title Deus Ex Machina. The text didn't even appear in the art. And we were like, Redbubble, are you fucking serious? And they were like, yeah, unfortunately, if you re-upload it, we'll just take it back down again because we are desperately terrified of being sued or something. So they took down my Chernobog design because they said that Solo Leveling had claimed it. I couldn't find a character named Chernobog in Solo Leveling. The closest I could find is that there is a pretty anime boy in that show whose eyes glow blue, and the ominous shadowy silhouette that I drew Chernobog as also had glowing blue eyes, which is some weak shit, frankly speaking. So, anyway. Absolutely baffling, and frankly, more reason why we are phasing out Redbubble because they have only disappointed us of late. So if you want to buy our merch, we have our own shop.
Yeah, we have our own shop. The Redbubble store still exists, but we don't really link to it anymore.
Yeah, frankly, because they've disappointed us too many times and done absolutely. I'm sorry, this is a whole rant I've had locked and loaded. I guess
this
it's
is,
just
time on the lightning round.
Yes.
Thank you guys for putting some suggestions on. If we get to the next benchmark, which I think is 2,000, then we will do another lightning round and go from there. But yeah, pop off, Red, I guess.
I mean, I can keep going, I guess. It's frustrating. The thing is, Redbubble is pretty much,
Oh, yeah, let me uncall it myself. Yeah. What? Okay. And then, boom, all yours. X, there you go.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know shit about solo leveling except that they apparently play very fast and loose with the copyright claims, and Redbubble is too spineless to do anything about it. I don't want to talk shit about a service we use that has delivered merch over the years in tolerable fashion. It's just when something's bad, I think it's important to point out that it's bad. A lot of this is anecdotal, but I was complaining about this to some friends, and one of them was like, yeah, I had a Redbubble shop, and they... Sorry, what?
I got very detected.
You've been found.
Oh no. Anyway, they paid them in the wrong currency, and then when they were like, Redbubble, you've paid me the incorrect amount because you paid it in the wrong currency, they paid them in a different incorrect currency, and that is the kind of fucked up, shambolic act that makes me feel like behind the scenes they're even more on fire than it seems like. So, I don't know.
Redbubble, what the fuck? These are Umayyad dinars. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. These are Abbasid dinars!
Why are you paying me in Zuzim? Anyway, so it was really fucking weird, and it's very annoying because Redbubble, CrowdMade, the thing is, CrowdMade is pretty bespoke. CrowdMade reached out to us, and they were like, hey, we, know you guys, we want to, run your merch shop, is that okay? And we were like, sure. Redbubble is...
Okay.
Redbubble is, open source, anybody can make a shop on Redbubble, which means Redbubble is like allergic to the idea that they might owe something to the people who use their website. Which is also why Redbubble is the one site that doesn't send us a tax form. They just pay us, and then we have to independently report how much they have given us, because they don't keep track of that shit. Because that might imply that they owe us something, like, you know, a tax form. So it's just very frustrating, and there's no real recourse. Like, we had somebody at Redbubble who was like, hello, I am your Redbubble contact, and it's like, oh great, well here's a problem we're having, and to my knowledge, I don't think we ever heard back about any of that.
I don't remember what it was. Honestly, there have been so many things over the years, I forgot what even we got. And oh no, it was for the Deus Ex Machina. It was for the Deus Ex Machina, and they didn't solve it for us.
No,
they couldn't.
Oh, you know what else I forgot? Before that, this was the third strike, I guess. Like, the first ever thing that happened is, do you guys remember my my Pride Month design? Every month is Pride Month if you allow yourself to be consumed by hubris.
Oh,
Redbubble
yeah.
took it down. And they emailed us, and they were like, we've taken down your design because we think it might be homophobic. And I was like, could you explain your logic of that? And they were like, seen 9:15 p.m., and we never heard back about it. But you know what was still up on Redbubble? All of the people who had stolen that design and knocked it off. And that was the other thing that Redbubble never ever did anything about, was how many people would just either blatantly steal our art, or just like take my text designs and then just like write them in a different font and then put them on their shop, which is less heinous. But when they take down my design and then leave up all the ones that are actively stolen, that just feels like actively malevolent after a certain point. It's like, I know there's no real way to distinguish between malevolence and incompetence after a certain point, but after a certain point, it starts kind of feeling malevolent.
Sorry for popping out. That was the pharmacy, who I do need to speak to every so often, because I have a med that needs to be delivered once a month, so that way I could not have terrible migraines, but I have to refill it every month, so...
Oh, sailor outfit.
Anyway, so that sucked. If you want to get our merch, get it from our shop instead. Redbubble only still exists because it would frankly be kind of annoying to shut it down. But I will. I've nuked websites before, you know, that we're no longer serving our merch needs.
This is completely unrelated, but I saw Volante Design mentioned in the chat very briefly. I want to thank everyone who tagged me or emailed me directly or DM'd me about the Speed Racer merch. I promise I've seen it, and I promise that it's haunting me constantly. I was at PAX East recently, and I went to the booth and like looked at it, and the amount of yearning that I feel for the blue Speed Racer jacket that I've been searching for since the movie came out in 2008 cannot be overstated. But your girl's not for it. But it's extremely cool. If you want to check out good merch for things, Volante is a good place to look. Yeah, no, I promise I've seen it. I promise I know about the Speed Racer and Racer X jackets. I know, I've seen it. Stop taunting me.
Can I not put the boots on?
No, I think those are just physics objects.
Damn. Really wanted to wear some nice boots. Why are there so
think
many
you can ever wear shoes.
Yeah, no, apparently not.
Indigo, did you get a read on what size you would have been for that jacket? If?
Probably like
If?
it's probably like a small or medium. That's what I usually am in jackets.
I was going to independently place an order in a couple weeks, so I would consider this something or other. Happy Christmas, it's June.
Christmas in July.
Because I saw that and I was like, oh, Indigo would love that.
Well, make sure there's actually her size still.
Yeah. We'll figure this out later.
Also, I forgot to mention,
Yeah,
I hate these bananas.
Bananas,
I do have two pieces from Volante.
You do?
One is the Star Trek one,
Yeah.
and it's really cool.
Yeah, the Star Trek, one of the blue jackets.
I have, the TNG.
Yeah, and then you have the Automata vest, which is very cool. The little heart in the background and like the little ruffles on the collar.
Okay, well, apparently this was not the correct way to go.
Oh.
In answer to the question, what happened to the limited time Volante design face masks? They were a limited time. They came out in 2020. It's 2025. I'm sorry. It's right in the name.
Yeah.
They were pretty cool, though. Sorry, dude. I'm really, really trying on this rock.
I like that since you are wearing the uniform, he's like, man, Dale's just really losing it today.
This new guy has not quite figured out boats. Indigo, doesn't
Quite
one
the
of your
opposite,
brothers
actually.
doesn't one of your brothers do boats?
One of my brothers just graduated from Maine Maritime Academy with a degree in marine operations. He does do. He's gonna be a third mate on some sort of international shipping vessel, TBD, because you gotta find out what union you're in basically, and then you just sort of do whatever that union does. But yeah, he does boat stuff. He once told me that he got into marine operations because it was the closest he could do to being in Star Trek in the current world. This is realistically. Structurally, the closest I can get to being on ensign on the Enterprise, and I was like,
That's
you know what?
charming.
That's an incredibly valid reason to go into boats. But yeah, but he loves it, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy for him. I was at his graduation a couple weeks ago, and it's
Awesome.
it's solid. And I will say most of the things that he says, any terminology that I recognize, does come either from Star Trek or NCIS in my mind. So I feel really strongly
Forgot
that
NCIS
he's actually incredibly
is also
valid.
boats.
Yeah.
Captain on the
NCIS
bridge. I know what that
has to
means.
be naval crimes, right? So every episode, in the cold open for the episode, they have to establish why it is a Navy-related crime, or else NCIS is not the people who are investigating it. So my favorite instance of this, because I watched like 13 seasons of NCIS for no real reason. It's fine. But the one episode, I forget which one it is, they open in like there's a car accident, and then they go to this like ground level shot that's like panning over the side of the wreck, and they end the shot before the title sequence starts off on a perfectly placed at the roadside like hat from a Navy uniform. So that we, the audience, understand that it is a Navy crime and therefore NCIS can investigate it. It's such a specific niche thing that they clearly did not think past like the title for. I think it's like
That's
the
really
second
funny.
episode where they're on an aircraft carrier and then they never go on a big boat again. It's too
Get to the
expensive.
Control
That'd be
room.
really expensive.
Where's the control room?
It's you can finally go where the guy was walking you off earlier.
We got a Cleo check-in in chat. How's Cleo doing?
I actually don't know where
She is somewhere else. Hold on, wait. No, there's another one of her spots that she sometimes naps in, but she is not there.
So probably fine.
Is this the control room? No. Ooh, but I can get redressed.
Glad to see you out of the shower. Can you get to the helm and get us out of this storm?
And Captain.
Captain.
Truly the captain.
Captain.
Now.
Yeah. If you guys were on, like, in Star Trek, all the captains always have, like, a beverage, you know? It's the Earl Grey tea hot coffee if you're Janeway, which would be my move. But, like, if you guys were a captain, do you think you have a signature drink that you would ask for from the replicators?
Probably Earl Grey tea. Hot. Honestly, my favorite tea.
I would be slowly refining the hot chocolate recipe because, like, there's really only so many ways to make a cup of Earl Grey hot. There's really
You'd
only
be
so
pulling
many ways to
a
make coffee.
Captain Cisco and just cooking at least one thing.
I would probably just have it replicate the ingredients. It's like, okay, I need a half gallon of 2% milk. I need some
What kind of
65%
milk?
dark chocolate chips.
What animal should provide the milk?
Cow! Replicate a cow then. I'll figure it out myself. How hard can it be?
Actually, milking
Space
a cow is pretty self-explanatory.
See? I got this shit made.
When we were 5, they took us to a dairy farm as part of our kindergarten class, which is how you know you go to school in the middle of nowhere. And they had us milk cows.
Fascinating.
It's okay.
The closest they came was having us hold chickens because we were a bunch of city slickers and probably couldn't be trusted around a large animal that might kill us.
My
I had someone who got chased around by a turkey at Pensbury Manor, but that's about the closest we ever got to interacting with animals.
one of my friends, actually 2 of my friends, went to a local festival where they sheared sheep. And I'm like, why
Wow.
would you go to a sheep shearing festival? And they're like, because you get to see someone shear a sheep. I'm like, I know for a fact both of you have seen sheep shearing before. And I know for a fact one of the 2 of you has sheared a sheep before. And they were like, yeah, but
This
it's
is
still
fun when you're
fun.
That's cute.
Cleo update. She's here because I'm opening up a plastic bag of Thai food.
Ah, she can never resist the allure of plastic.
Efficient Thai food acquisition.
Thank you. We have a favorite Thai place. They know Blue by name. They don't recognize his phone number per se, but then he'll be like, oh, I'm Blue. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, Blue, hey, you want the usual? Or...
I asked him for
Seeing a cow milked will make you understand why it is so important to pasteurize your fucking
Yeah,
milk.
no, people who are like,
a filthy
oh,
experience.
I love drinking raw milk have clearly never been to a dairy farm. No offense.
Yeah, no,
People are like,
sorry.
well, I-
just the smell will tell you why you should boil that shit.
Yes, I know some people who are like, well, like, I trust my local farmers. I trust my local farmers too. However, I've also seen a cow's udders.
I trust this cow to be a completely normal, fine cow. That doesn't mean clean.
Neo, lunchtime.
Aww. Ziggy is, I had a blanket that was balled up on my desk chair, and then she was asleep on that all morning while I went out to get coffee, and I came back and I was like, oh no, I need to sit there for this stream that we're on. So I just picked up the blanket and Ziggy and moved it to the couch, and she hasn't moved since. So she's still locked in.
That's my
She
favorite
likes
thing.
to be, as we say in this house, unski, which is to say under the blanket.
Unski?
Yeah.
Unski. She likes to
That's
unski.
so twee.
Can I please
It's the
pull
only.
out the door?
There are two things that calm Ziggy down: being unski and looking at the poster of Cher and Moonstruck we have in the hallway. I don't know what it is about Cher, but it really.
Oh, Cher,
That
we're
was
really in it
not what
now.
I thought the second one was gonna be, not gonna lie.
It never is, but it really, if you hold Ziggy up to it, she does chill out just a little bit. So whenever we're getting ready for bed, we'll have to be like, okay, we gotta show Ziggy the Cher. She's got her share time, and then we can all go to bed.
How do I
That's
get
so
to the bow?
fucking whimsical. I love cats. They're
How do I
bonkers.
get to the bow? How do I get to the bow of the boat? Do I go this way? Captain is on the deck. Good to see you too. Maybe this is a door. I don't think I've opened this door yet. Oh, the handle came off. Well, never mind.
When this game doesn't want you to go somewhere, it doesn't want you to go there.
So then, let's go up the stairs
Captain, I
again.
think you left your radio
I
on
left
in the
your
shower.
radio in the shower?
There's
Yeah,
singing coming from in there.
that's fair. Someone's singing. It's certainly not the captain. Right leg. Left leg. This game is gonna be really inaccessible to people with dyslexia. Not necessarily, but like move the right leg. Pulls up hands to check. Because
Yeah.
when he's facing backwards, it's really hard to tell.
Yeah. I would usually just kind of, like, scramble when I played Octodad. I'd just be like, one of these limbs is going to be making contact with the right kind of place. I'll just skitter over.
Okay, so if it's not that way, is it this way? How do I get to the front deck? Whee.
Someone's asking how far through Journey to the West we are. I believe we hit chapter 60-something last time.
Is that
And a lot of the ones after this point can be skipped. Yes, that's a lot. There's only 100.
Go.
How am I supposed to get over this? Clearly I am. Is there another door in here? Yeah, probably. Okay.
Just shake up this Thai iced tea, don't mind me.
Hey Blue, do you remember how to get to the
That's
front
blue
deck?
fabric.
Not at all.
Thank you.
But we can look.
Because they're all blocked off with these big things.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm supposed to climb over it or if there's a different way.
Have you gone to the right side of the boat?
Whee.
Ah. Can you go? Are there any doors you can go through in this room?
Let's find out.
Well, Ziggy has just emerged for the first time all morning
Through
from
the
the unski.
bathroom door?
Show her share.
Ziggy, you want to see Cher? Hold on. Oh, you're here by the desk. Ah! Say something into the microphone. You love doing that. You love screaming.
Come on, loud-ass cat. Show me what you got.
So that
Hold
one
on, she's
looks
gotta
locked,
scratch
then
her
maybe
butt
the other
first.
door.
Come on, Ziggy. Little upski.
Upski.
Well, because my boyfriend started saying unski, and then I started referring to everything that Ziggy did with ski as an ending, taking a tip ski, going up ski, etc., etc. It's addictive. You can't stop once you start.
That's so freaking whimsical. I can't believe
Stop
this.
me
This is an
now.
outrage.
Sorry, Ziggy's taking a moment to lick the straps of my tote bag that's on the
I
floor.
wonder, do you think I can like hold on to the rail and just kind of skirt?
I wonder if there's got to be a way to go. Oh, damn it! You need to cross the beam.
Of course.
Yeah,
Why would they
but
make
yeah.
it something easy if there was an octopus?
No, No, because that's as far as it goes. Maybe we have to go underneath the little deck, because there's the little... Yeah, those places underneath that might lead into it.
So this side is also blocked off, and then when I tried to go through this door, the handle fell off. Which feels like they don't want me to go in the door. You know? And the other side... Chad, if you want a metagame, I'm not gonna stop you.
Chad is asking me if I know about Lego Monkey Kid, and the answer is yes, I do. We got an email when it was in production from one of the team members who was like, "Hey, we've been watching your videos to sort of like brush up," which was incredibly charming and sweet of them.
Yes. Okay, yeah, so we go up through here and then through this room.
Isn't that already up there? Come on. Come on, left leg. Stairs and I.
The perennial enemy.
This is the real EDS experience.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. Go through the other side, or?
Someone says, actually, how many versions of Journey to the West are there? I tried to count to get a rough estimate of them, but I lost count. Start with the question.
Like adaptations?
Yeah, start with the question of how many animes exist, and then multiply that by a couple factors.
Direct adaptations? Are you talking about inspired by? Just spinning off a single character? Translations? There's so many versions of Journey.
I tried that one show that was like New Legends of Monkey, I think, which is like Australian made, and I liked it sort of at the beginning, and then I stopped liking it very quickly. It's like, it's the story you'd get if Pigsy was in charge of writing it. He's unconditionally the most heroic character in the show, and Sun Wukong literally cannot even read or write, which is like the most blatant character assassination of like one of, you know, because his whole gimmick is like he did all the studying. He became, what?
Nothing.
Sorry. Oh, okay. He became, you know, Taoist immortal by doing all the studying, and then was like, heh, not good enough, whatever. And then in the show, he's like, his big secret is that he cannot read or write. And I was like, okay, this is a fucking, this is a hit piece. This is slander.
All right, chat. New fundraising goal: get to 1,500 so I can switch with Blue and eat my food in peace.
Yay!
Is that what we're doing? Yeah, fuck it. That's what we're doing.
Mercy.
Have mercy on me, a sinner, for I am just a simple octopus.
Let us in on the secret. What do you guys get from your Thai place? What's the official
For just
Blue and Cyan
$1,500,
We're dying to know here in the studio.
You two can feed a streamer whose food is right in front of them.
Yeah.
So I will usually go for a. If I'm going to a new place, I'll start usually with the red curry. But if I know it's good, I'll get the mushroom curry because that's my favorite. But it's the one that I find, if I don't know the quality, it's likely to be like there are more ways to fuck it up. But I go for that. Cyan goes for kind of like a crispy chicken type dish with some rice, some onions and spice. It's got like a kind of a light sauce on it, not not drenched in sauce, but a little more than just crispy chicken. Both quite good. I've also got a Thai iced tea.
Do I need to raise the boat, or can I just kind of?
I'll be able to slink underneath there. Yeah.
I'm usually a drunken noodles kind of gal, although I do love a Asian.
I did almost get pad Thai today. Almost pad Thai.
I'm sorry for stowing away.
Sometimes
Please
it
don't throw
hits.
me overboard.
Yeah.
Quick series of nervous explanations.
Well, now we're both in trouble. Who are you then?
Thank you, Anonymous, for the $300 donation.
Oh wow.
Whoa, Nelly.
Oh my god, thank you, Anonymous.
$9 and Cyan
Almost.
can eat.
$9 between Cyan and eating her Thai food.
It's okay.
He's been watching for stowaways the whole voyage.
Talk to the chef. I don't think that's a good idea.
What is different about you, Captain? If you really
Octodad's like, actually, chef, I think it's really problematic how the restaurant industry is exploitative to its back of kitchen workforce, and the chef is like, what? Octodad knocks him off the boat.
Yeah. I'm telling you, just get Gordon Ramsay on the board. We can take this guy out, no problem.
Cyan, I think you are in the clear after full donations from Fry
Wow.
and Anonymous.
Like, can you tie a
Cyan
sheep
gets
shank
that
knot?
Thai food.
What do I tie into a knot?
Oh, over there.
Jiggling.
Thank you, group, because this is really good.
No, I slid too far away. I slid too
Brad,
far
have you had
away.
any thoughts on what you're going to be eating after the stream?
Nah, no ideas yet. I've been too busy drawing things for chapter. Don't worry about it, guys. I'm having a fun time.
I'm gonna be doing. We're recording a one shot for rolling with difficulty tonight.
We're recording session 0 for the one shot.
Yeah,
Slightly lower
which
stakes.
will be- Yeah, slightly lower stakes, but I'm continuing my somewhat annual tradition of
Got 'em.
housing the Popeye spicy chicken sandwich 2 minutes before we start recording those to make sure
like
that my
it,
voice
I
is in
like
the worst possible state to then talk for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, then follow it up with half a gallon of milk.
Yes. Well, I don't want to shit my pants and die, as we say on this show.
Of course.
So I will just be eating the sandwich, but yes.
Maybe I'll join you in the spicy chicken sandwich zone,
alright.
actually.
So
That
what
sounds pretty
about
nice.
It's good. When a spicy chicken sandwich hits, it hits. There's nothing like it.
Very true.
It's also
Well,
remarkably a
someday.
safe thing to get pretty much everywhere because it's kind of hard to really fundamentally fuck up a chicken sandwich.
In the
I
meantime,
mean, you know, as long as no one's cooking their fucking chicken medium rare, but...
I mean, yeah,
I've seen dumber.
barring improper preparation of the ingredients flavor-wise, like the good ones are great, but most chicken sandwiches are gonna just taste like a chicken sandwich.
Tea.
Romance.
Aww.
Aw.
Is this the end of the game?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I didn't think so. How do they get
We've
up?
still been thrown in the shark tank. Back in the present.
Oh.
Oh, wait, this is how we first met?
Flashback.
Oh.
Here, we can
Having
trade
a
on
dream.
and off so you
Doing
can
a
also
dream
eat your food.
sequence.
For a dream sequence, that was surprisingly difficult.
Yeah, what with all these failure conditions? What is this?
Shark.
Prince of Persia? Wait, that's not how that happened.
Except with Octodad, it's like... Wait, I died? You can die in that?
Yeah, you got ate by the shark.
It's very funny because Blue, you were definitely the most like, oh my god, Octodad, we should definitely. It's like, yeah, hell yeah. But it's really funny. It doesn't it doesn't inspire the most confidence when you're like, oh, that can happen in the game that you were like, hell yeah, let's do it.
It's almost like this game is old as shit.
God.
Here,
How?
let me try.
Yeah.
Where are the swim buttons?
It's
Whoa.
the right triggers.
How
right
the
bumpers.
turntables.
Shut up.
I'm sorry. It's easy
No.
for me to talk shit. I'm just over here in fucking spoilers
fine, you're
land,
fine.
drawing completely fine things.
Okay, so you do need to swim more power. Yes.
Blue getting chased by a shark. I can die? Says Sister Grim.
Shark's pretty good at eating you, it seems.
Someone call Wizards of the Coast. I gotta keep up with whatever the hell they've been doing in Dimension 20 recently. I have so much backlog I can watch through now.
Oh yeah, I was watching a bunch of old Game Changers the other day, just so I need some background noise. And
I was watching the crowd control game changer with Gianmarco Ceresi, Jeff Curie, and Josh Johnson, I think is everybody's names. That was funny. That was really funny.
I was going through the being as the one where the challenge is to be earnest.
Oh, yes.
With it.
Oh,
And
the
then
one
has
that's
these
just there to
epic
fuck with Jess Ross, or oh no, the other one.
No, this was recent.
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
recent. Yeah.
The one with the Joker audition thing.
Yes.
Yes, exactly that. They're also very funny.
It is kind of fun seeing you get to just like play as the true octopus form that you are.
Excuse me, no, my truest form is Dad.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of cool. Like after having to struggle through the game so much, it's kind of cool seeing you actually able to be fast.
Self-actualize.
I should give our kids swim lessons.
Also, the reason why he only has 6 long tentacles is because the 2 in front are trimmed short to be his mustache.
I forgot how long this shark section was.
And like, despite what it looks like, I'm only like controlling power. I don't actually steer.
Which is kind of a good way to illustrate how easy and effortless this is for him. That's ludonarrative synchronicity.
Assonance.
Yes? Fine.
Or synchronicity.
My word's better because it has more syllables in it.
Yeah.
Ass, ass, ass.
Oh,
I'm
no.
gonna step on the ass.
Kids, have you seen your father?
Dolphins just hate crime to that
closing
shark.
time. Where could he be? Dunno. I saw him go in a weird door.
Sometimes I see the comments that make it through without getting like caught by a "Hey, are you okay with this?" filter, and I'm like, "How? How was that one okay?"
It's the same way that like when you're making your name for a character in a Pokemon game, you can't use certain words, but they can't possibly have programmed every single bad word in the world in all at once. So there's a lot of things you can through so you can name your character butts like you wanted to at the beginning.
Yay!
You must come with me to cafeteria.
Classic example of the Scunthorpe problem, as explained by Tom Scott.
The what?
The Scunthorpe problem. There's a bad word in the middle of it, and it's a town in England, and the people from this town found they could not make, like, AOL accounts because it has the C word in the middle of it.
It feels culturally insensitive to disallow that word.
Isn't it, yeah, like, also a thing that people in Australia say?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, it's a much less, like, taboo swear word in, you know, the UK and Oceania than it is in the US. Blow up getting his game face on.
Girl, put your game face on. Show me your tentacles.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Just go ahead, you're just a squid.
Why is it so bad over the USA? I don't think we have an explanation for why certain swear words are far more taboo in certain cultures than others. It's just like
usually some sort of cultural context, you know, language is a living thing, and so every place where that language is spoken, even if it is ostensibly the same language, are going to have different ways that it has been used and interacted with over time, different ways that the communities who speak that language have like reclaimed, or in certain ways like express their distaste for certain words, and so like it's you know, none of us have the specific linguistic reason that any one given word in the US is bad, or at least considered, you know, reputation of being bad in the way that the C word is here compared to like Australia and the UK.
Linguists in the chat, let us know.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like it is, it's going to be different country to country. Even if they're speaking ostensibly the same language.
And I think a lot of it is also just a matter of like desensitization, you know, like any word you hear a lot, you will just sort of stop thinking of as a problem. As some of my friends are starting to like have kids, and therefore I'm around more young people, I'm like having trouble reining in how much I swear, because to me they're just words now. They're flavorings on a sentence. But that's not really an explanation that like a preschool teacher's gonna be okay with. But you know, if a word is taboo, you kind of have this knee-jerk reaction of like, oh my god, you can't say that. And if you don't hear a word very much, that reaction will be, you know, increased. So the fact that there's a word that's a very common borderline, you know, filler swear word in the UK and Oceania that over here is almost unthinkable, you know, that kind of means that there's sort of like a little bit of a vicious cycle. You know, if something is treated as taboo, you get these self-reinforcing behavioral patterns around it that emphasize how taboo it should be. Because if somebody says it, you have to remind them, like, oh my god, no, we don't do that. And that provokes this, like, fear response in everybody. So, you know, things build up around certain concepts and certain words that are just like, no, we can't address this, we can't use this. And seen from the outside, it can feel a little bit silly that people are getting hung up on specific words. But, you know, at the same time, this is also an argument that could be used to desensitize the use of some words that I think are actively harmful to people. So, like, you know, this isn't a thing that can be categorically applied everywhere. It's just a true fact of linguistics that taboos build up in almost unpredictable areas.
There are also some words
Where the heck is the key?
I don't know where the key is. I think it's like behind the desk, maybe.
There's not much behind the desk.
There's also a degree to which, like, okay, where am I going with this? It's nice to have a scapegoat of a bad thing we shouldn't do, like saying the sexist swear word, so we can think of, like, the way to fight sexism is to not say the C word. Instead of, the way to fight sexism is to, like, have pay equality. So I was going to make a joke earlier, like, yeah, there are some words that aren't swears, but you're not supposed to say them, like gender pay gap. And this, I don't think, is really, like, a direct, like, point A, point B kind of thing, but there is a convenience in, like, yes, if we make the worst sexism you can do saying the C word, then all the other insidious little ways that sexism exists is totally normal, because it's not the worst word imaginable. It's just, that's just pay structures. It's just cost of living adjustments.
It's just
you're right.
gender.
I think there is an argument that policing language, while elements of it I think are useful just to be courteous. It's like, you know, if there's a word that hurts people, the polite thing to do is not to use it. That's simple.
For sure.
But I do think that if your activism starts and ends at policing the way things talk, that sort of, how productive is that, really? How productive is it to make people be like, oh, well, I can't use this word. I will simply find a synonym and use that to do the exact same thing. Back in middle school, oh man, this might date us a little bit. I don't know if your middle school did this. Ours had an actual movement in first grade that was like, hey children, instead of calling something gay, try stupid instead. Like, truly, it was just like, it's not don't insult things or, don't call people bad things. It's like, try using something that's not homophobic to be rude to your fellow classmates. It was very weird.
Anyway, not have that particular thing, but
there's
I get what
something
you're
in
saying.
there that's glowing.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, obviously language is a weird thing. It's a complicated thing, especially the world of, like, swears and bad language, which is all, under a certain veneer of varying levels of taboo.
The Broken Ace says Hillary Duff moment. I remember that commercial. I remember seeing that. There was a Hillary Duff thing where it was like, oh, this is so gay, and she's like, you don't really mean that. Try using this, like, literally read exactly what you were saying, but, like, in a commercial with Hillary Duff, and I was like, you know what? Damn. Makes you think. Damn. Thanks, Hillary. Thanks, Miss Duff.
It's like, okay, if you're on the playground and someone's like, that's so gay, and you are yourself gay, you might be like, hey, it sucks that you're calling this thing bad by calling it what I am. But then if the person's like, oh, you're right, I should have said you're stupid instead, it's like, I'm still gonna feel bad. It's just, I guess, like, you filed some of the serial numbers off why I specifically would feel bad about that. I don't know, it's very, very strange little zone. But, yeah.
Yeah, it's a complicated space, and language is constantly evolving, so, like, there's never gonna be... There's no one rule of law about how language is going to be used. It's just going to be constantly changing, and the best thing you can do is try to be open and receptive when people tell you, hey, this word hurts me, don't use it.
Just toss that
Actually,
down.
there's a point, the comment from Technically a Writer, how effective would the C word be as an insult if we didn't still generally view women as lesser? So that's an interesting point, because there's like 2 points off of that. One of the things is, like, to me, I know the C word is gendered innately. I think the fact that it is a taboo word is more relevant to the way that it mostly gets used, because most of the things I see getting called that are not women. But the point about, like, hey, why would it be insulting to describe something as feminine? That's a really interesting one. And it is also why I will die mad about the idea that, like, oh, girl math, girl dinner, that's gained such a foothold, because it's like, oh, the joke here is that it is diminutive and foolish, and you should be thought of as lesser for doing it, and the word you're using to describe that is girl? Have you fucking thought about a thing in your life ever? Like, I mean, it frustrates me, but it's also really interesting because it's like, yeah, that is not an innately insulting concept. I think we've kind of, in large swaths of society, moved past the idea that something being feminine is automatically bad. But that idea does still exist, and it's kind of insidious how quickly it can pop back up as like, oh, I don't know, I'm just a girl. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me, man? Like, the implication therein is that it is an innately diminutive descriptor that implies that you are lesser than you could be. And that is, language is a very complicated thing, but elements of it are very insidious. And when I see stuff like that just getting regurgitated uncritically, I'm like, could you please think about the words you are using to move through life and describe yourself? Because this is frankly embarrassing. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I interrupting the octopus chorus with my fucking
No, we were just going
bullshit?
through events.
Oh, okay.
You want this back?
Yeah. I think that's an interesting point, Red, because I feel like for, like, the girl dinner example, for me, like, as a girl who's had a girl dinner in her life, like, I always kind of viewed it more as, like, well, this is a way of kind of reclaiming that, like, yeah, people would probably look down on the idea of, like, let's have a tray full of various little snacks and make that a meal. Almost as, like, I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it. Like, by calling it that preemptively and sort of playing on the way that it would be made fun of in language, it almost feels a little bit like reclaiming it and being like, no, actually, I'm in control of whether or not I get to be girly and fun like that. But I think that you're also right. Like, it is directly in conversation with the way that society has commonly looked down upon more feminine things.
Yeah.
Like, it's a complicated space. There's no one right interpretation.
Yeah. Well, that's the double-edged sword of it, because, like, on the one hand, describing something as girly isn't bad, but on the other hand, using girly as an innately diminutive thing implies that it's bad.
Making a fire.
Nice.
Yay.
I guess there's also a degree to, like, what things are we describing it with, where it's like, oh, I did, like, harmless number crunching. Girl math versus, like, oh, I got sued for tax fraud. Haha, girl math. Like, difference in kind between those two things.
Yeah. One of them is, haha, I'm dangerously incompetent and can't be trusted with my finances, just like a girl. And it's like, oh, God.
Which is what I feel like a lot of the early, like, girl math stuff was, of like, oh, haha, like, I only have $10 to spend, but, like, if I do this thing that results in a meal that's $50, it actually makes sense. Girl math, like, that's where I feel like I saw a lot of the kind of early iteration of this.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird space.
Octopus math. If I light everything on fire, then I can get back to my darling wife.
Yay.
That's just good common sense is what that is.
The jester says, I'm used to, quote, boy dinner, followed by a photo of gasoline. What the fuck?
Are you perhaps a transformer?
Hey. Listen, he might in fact just be an Octodad. Come on. Get in the tube. Get in the tube. Get your foot in the tube.
Draco Knight says, kind of weird that being willing to live up to stereotypes is such a big part of refusing to be confined by them. It's a wacky space.
Yeah, I was thinking about this because, like, especially with, like, being just a girl, like, in the 2000s growing up when we did late 90s, early 2000s, like, there was a big push for, like, not quite the full tomboy, but the, like, I'm not like other girls kind of energy to things of, like, okay, yeah, I do like things that are not traditionally feminine. Like, I am wearing jeans and, I'm wearing Converse with my dress. Like,
yep.
The energy of, like, resisting stereotypes by just simply being the opposite of them. And I think that's really cool to see. Now we get to kind of embrace femininity, and that can be subversive in its own way. Like, being like, no, actually, I do want to wear my fancy outfits.
Here's the fundamental problem, is that defining yourself in opposition to a structure is still allowing the structure to define you. So whether you are like, oh, I don't want people to doubt my femininity, I will put all of the pink and the ruffles on because those are girl things and therefore people will think I am girl, versus like, well, I don't want anyone to think of me as weak and lesser, which they seem to think women are, so I will therefore distance myself from anything pink and ruffly, because if I do that, they'll see that I'm, blah, 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 blah. You're still defining yourself in relation to this system. And the thing that I've seen a little bit more recently is that like it's kind of better to decouple yourself from the expectations of the system overall and be like, I do this thing because I like it, not because I think it reflects on how I exist in relation to this massive system of stereotypes that are trying to define me. Which is allowing for a lot more personal freedom and a lot more expression without having to be like, oh, but will this make me seem anti-feminist? Or, oh, will this make me seem too manly? I don't know. Everyone is stressed about this all the time.
Yeah. I think what I like about the current state of it, and obviously there's a lot to unpack here, Red. I think you're right. Like, the best thing you can do is just do what you want to, because you want to as an individual person who has their own tastes, and that will uncouple you from the system in some ways. But like the reversion of, instead of standing in opposition to, being able to embrace the parts of femininity that you like, I feel like that's closer to every individual getting to embrace the elements they like than it was in the tomboy Converse with dress era of the 2000s, where it's like, no, you have to purposefully be in opposition to it. It's allowing people to at least look into what elements of any given thing they like. For me personally, like, I was a kid in the 2000s who was like, would have probably didn't like, I'm not like other girls. Most of my friends are, I'm wearing this one hoodie I bought from Target over and over again forever. That's fashion to me, and like, I don't know how to do makeup. And now as an adult, I'm like, you know what? No, I like some of these things. Like, I was being a dumb kid who was trying to find a place in the system that didn't fit, and by standing in opposition to it, I was putting myself in a box that also didn't fit. And now it's like, no, I get to do all the cool girly things that I do like. So I think you hit the nail on the head with like, really what's fundamentally the best thing to do is to just do what makes you happy, right? Like, embrace the parts of whatever it is that you enjoy. But I'm personally a little bit hopeful to see this sort of current mindset of at least nothing is a wrong way to be feminine, right? Like, you can embrace the elements that you like, even if it is still sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, I like being able to wear fun dresses with cute patterns. I also like, providing healthcare to people, and I also like sports and video games. Like, you can. I think the thing was just like with the early 2000s, the idea of like girls can like this stuff too. I wouldn't say went too far, but I think there was kind of this idea that it was like, oh, and if you don't, you're weak because you're giving into what people think girls should be like, as opposed to like, oh, I like XYZ. Maybe I should be allowed to like XYZ regardless of my gender.
There's like
and I ran into a weird thing with that specifically because I've always been very like, similarly, it's like, oh, I like being strong. I like being thought of as strong and respected and stuff. I like these things about myself that are traditionally considered masculine. And so for a while it was like, oh, well, like the joke for at my expense in middle school was like, are you sure you're a girl? And I was like, yes. And then of course, like, high school and college is like, oh, well, but if you weren't a girl, that would be okay. And in fact, that might even make more sense because you like all these boy things. And I was like, and I did, the requisite introspection to upgrade to cis plus, and concluded like, oh, the big problem I keep running into is that I like all these things and I also like being a girl and I don't think I'm anything other than a girl, and that's fine. But the ability to be able to do all these things and be all these things and also just fully be a cis woman, that was the part that I almost felt like was like kind of getting knocked out from under me with like, no, this would make so much more sense if you were actually like this thing instead. And I was like, but I'm not, I'm this thing. And the thing is, like, this was my very personal experience with that, but I also know a ton of people for whom it was like, oh no, this actually fits a lot better if I am, like, if I'm non-binary or if I'm a trans man or something like that. So for me personally, it was just like, it almost felt like we'd gotten back to, no, you have to fit in one of these boxes. We just added a couple more boxes, and it's like, if you are a girl who like boy stuff, have you considered that you go in the box of girl but not really? And it's like, no, I think I'm just a person who likes things. Why are we gendering all this shit?
I think what we're dancing around is the idea of like everyone is allowed to like whatever the hell they want, and it's a good thing that we're at the point where we can kind of acknowledge that. The nice thing about like I'm not like other girls, I like wearing Converse or whatever it may be, is like I have snake arms, is it provides a freedom to do things that are different from established stereotype. The one potential hiccup with that is like, oh, I'm not like other girls. is still a self-definition in opposition to something else, and we are still casting the opinion that other girls, i.e. normies, are bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And any philosophy of I'm not a normie is the most normie shit on the planet.
Yeah.
I think what is refreshing to kind of like put a fine point on it is like the question used to be asked like in I'm not like other girls as being in opposition to something, and by being in opposition to it, it also kind of establishes some other form of being existing. And the question more recently, at least what I've seen younger women talking about and like people existing in general, is like not are you like or not like this thing, so much as just generally embracing feminine things and femininity as also being able to be a way to be strong, or just also being an acceptable thing to like. So it's more of an embracement of embracement, that's not a word, but an embracing of wider variety of things rather than trying to define people based on who they are.
I think the cis plus framing really does capture it of like, no, I'm still this, but like I like what I like, and I don't need to do that in relationship to any particular label.
Yeah, why does it matter how anyone else lives their life when I can
video
just live my
games and
life?
sports, because that's not a thing that needs to be gendered. Like, you can just like sports, it's fine. You can just like video games.
Maybe my boilingest hot take is that I think the number of things that make sense to gender can be counted on one hand, and possibly not even that. But anyway.
It's an octopus! It's Dad! Nobody else knew?
Oh my god! Trace is the only one who knew!
Awesome! Just because you're right.
Scarlett's losing her goddamn mind.
What do you... Scarlett, have you never seen the man naked?
Don't answer that question.
Don't answer that question. Chat, we don't want your opinions on this. Don't answer that question.
The suit stays on. I don't know, Chad, how'd you feel about all that?
How'd you feel about femininity and also naked octopuses?
Don't answer that next question.
You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like.
We've been got.
Well, I got distracted by the peak performance question. Alright, I have to stand at tables. I'm really bad.
Because otherwise you'd be on fire.
Listen, I'm pretty sure these wood tables are not really great protection from the flames.
Lou getting chased by a shark. You can die. Cyan standing in fire. You can die?
That's our child! That's our child! As a dad, I need to get to the kid. I must rescue our child from the flames. Hey, there's water in the middle, though. Come on.
That's good.
Get back on the table for Hydra's Octo. Yeah, well, it's gonna die one way or the other.
Tag out. Continue
Sure.
lunch.
Everybody's eating their foods.
You have to grab the fish now.
Yeah, he is an octopus.
I am.
Stop going into the fire. Have you considered simply not being on fire?
My sister kept adding a Y sound to various things that ended in us, like octopus.
Nope, bad.
And we, she kept saying that, and we're like, bruh, no. And she's like, what? That's basically what you said. We're like, you know for a fact that's not. We're like, you added a E, and she's like, and we're like, sister C.
Is there a possibility she genuinely didn't know? Or...
Unlikely. She's
okay.
too chronically online for that.
Ah.
I'm stuck. Ah, damn it.
Start from the beginning, or?
Damn, that sounds really hard and complicated. Anyway, back to drawing stuff.
Octopus. Why?
Whoa.
You know, I should have some octopi in this chapter.
Oh, shit.
You know what's the worst thing about my siblings being chronically online? I think people don't realize that TikTok is still being chronically online and would be offended if you told them that.
Oh my god, TikTok is the most online. It does irrevocable damage to everyone's vocabulary. You can absolutely tell when someone is TikTok brained.
Exactly, but I feel like when people are like, oh, you're chronically online, it's like you spend too much on Tumblr, but alas, you guys have been fooled, for another app was made.
A master app that consolidates stolen content from all the others.
Although, I feel like there is more NSFW content on Tumblr still.
Well, of course. Well, that's just because as soon as they made boobs illegal, Tumblr just got really weird with eroticizing other stuff.
Oh yeah? Boobs are illegal? Well, check out this totally not boobed octopus.
Check out how hard I can draw Transformers fan art.
She jumped up.
Oh, Ziggy.
She's purring very loud. I think her face is up.
Oof. We might actually be able to finish the game.
Yeah. It's entirely possible.
We have until 3. And then I must leave to take a call. That is not one of the calls I've already taken.
And then I've got to go working on my my next history video, which goes up next Friday.
Hurry up, or I'll toast like a marshmallow.
Any sneaky
I
surprise?
gotta go
or-
pick up my pottery.
I wonder if we're supposed to touch that.
Shh.
Oh my god.
No!
Here.
Why did I have that much momentum?
You can accept my chicken, by the way. I'm not gonna eat all of it.
Okay.
Straight to the ninth circle of hell.
I thought the ninth circle of hell was cold.
It is.
It is.
Oh yeah, I read Dante's Inferno. Did I do it to impress a boy? Maybe.
It was me.
It was you.
I was gonna say, was that boy on this call right now, or
Is the boy in the room with us?
It was funny. Well, because I was
is there
taking.
a second person who would be impressed by their date reading Dante's Inferno?
Listen, I've dated other people.
True.
I get like the whole like cartoon awooga eyes, but it's after Cyan tells me she read a piece of Renaissance literature.
Yeah.
That was the
I thought this manga
slowest.
was really interesting. Whoa.
I thought the commentary on Florentine politics was really insightful. Ah!
Is this how ace people flirt?
Why are you asking like you wouldn't be the expert on that?
I don't know. I will say one of our dance instructors is really funny because every so often he realizes that we're ace and he's like, oh, this makes so much sense. And we're like, what does that mean?
It's like, this is tango, which means you're going inner thigh to inner thigh and still moving around the room.
And we're like, oh, no, that's illegal. And he's like, yeah.
Gross.
That's fair.
Shove it in those fish's mouths.
Plug 3 fish spouts. How does one plug them?
Shove it in those
Oh,
fish's
with
mouths.
the shit that they're throwing at me.
Don't answer that, chat. Don't answer that. Don't weigh in on that.
Yeah, this is a chat once again. Please don't talk to us. Don't talk to us after games.
Hey, chat.
This is an SFW only stream about an octopus who was married a human woman and had 2 kids.
Hey, chat, remember how I've said dumb things that you shouldn't respond to? Well, anyway, remember when we would just say egg all the time? I think we should do that instead.
Yay!
Hold on, it's not better. Why?
Egg, 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 egg.
Egg.
Yeah.
I have kept my eyes open in
I
many
think we'll get that one that's up there.
Every pain says, I danced tango many times and don't go thigh to thigh.
This is true. You do not have to.
Well, tell that to our instructor.
The visual of Adam trying to like maintain order while being constantly swept away in the tide of egg
There's no way
comment.
to moderate egg.
Egg, 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 egg.
I don't know why I got blamed for that initially. Science started the
It's
bit.
always been me. I've always been the egg problem.
Yeah, I make people put a different emoji in the chat. You know what to do, everybody!
No, Red, you can blame for it because you perpetuate the bit.
Egg,
Yeah,
egg,
You have
egg,
well.
spread the
egg.
bit beyond its initial
Hey,
container.
don't shoot the messenger, alright?
I have to get up there somehow because I accidentally chucked it up there and they won't throw me the next one.
I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. Blindly and without hesitation.
If I just go, oh, wait,
Oh, there's
I can
one.
just take this guy.
Honey, the pressure is increasing.
Okay, look, another one. Drop.
Adam says you did start the chanting.
I did. What's the emoji that? Are you the potato emoji?
Well, I mean, a lady never tells, but
I mean, most ladies do tell. It's kind of like
This thing's gonna
the
blow.
point. This thing's gonna blow good.
Got him.
Boink.
Oh no, he's trapped in a paper lamp.
Take care of the chef. Does that mean, like, kill him? I don't remember. I don't think I actually got to this part. Bonk.
I
Bonk.
forget
Bonk.
how we do this part. Oh, you can grab it.
No, no, no!
You just eat him?
No!
Aw.
What is happening
I
right
also
now?
want to know what's happening right now.
Oh my god.
You really forgive me? What?
Even for the war?
Even for the war? What were you guys doing in the war?
Even for the war.
What war?
The great off-screen war.
Honey?
Was the chef a Nazi?
So
I
Well,
don't.
okay, maybe not that
I
war.
don't. I don't
Maybe
think
it's like
that.
much worse.
He just really liked Italian architecture in the 1930s.
God damn it.
Again?
The amount of we didn't really talk about this much on the after show, but the amount of times
No.
when we were in Italy, and it started when we were in the University of Padova's Palazzo Bo, where the main building of the university. We were in this like big, main hall room where everyone defends their thesis and stuff, and the tour guide is like. Now, these chairs were designed in 1930 by a very famous Italian architect.
Well, no. First, the tour guide said, "Oh, sit down if you need to," and people
Well,
sat
Please
down.
don't use the chair unless you have to.
And then she changed to, "Well, don't sit down unless you really have to," which I don't know
You can't
gives a
also run
different
around,
vibe.
in this theater.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
can't run around because there is a small
Cat on
my
your lap?
lap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it ended up being one pregnant lady sitting down and everyone else feeling too bad to sit down.
But
did,
a lot of you guys did sit on the fascist architecture.
I
for
did
a
sit
minute.
down and then unsat when I was told to unsit, but the fascist chair was under my ass where it belonged. So anyway, very funny, like seeing all starting from this and then like my eyes kind of like focused in and I'm like, it's everywhere. So there are random
Yeah.
buildings where I'm like, those shapes look a little 1930s, and I'd quickly Google it. Fuck! Like, there's this really cool, like, war memorial for, like, the war dead of World War I in Venice, and I'm like, oh, like, that's so sweet for, like, World War I war dead. Finished 1938. Fuck!
But I think we met a fan in there as well.
No, we didn't go inside.
Oh.
We met a fan in the University of
No,
Padova.
in the university.
Yeah, sorry, I jumped back to University of Padova.
Because for the missing context for this explanation is that if the tour guide hastily explains that a thing was created by a very beloved architect who was like high up in the government in the 1930s, that person was a fascist. And the reason why they're simultaneously doing the sort of like national pride, but also let's really quickly move on from it, is because it's like, well, there was a time when national pride was not good in Italy.
Yeah.
We don't talk about fascism. Oh no.
So it was very
we
funny.
Don't talk about fascism.
Yeah, it was very funny that like that whole scenario and how it spilled out into the week.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm chewing on
Octodad would
chicken.
make a great ice skater. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
His
like quintuple
talents are
axle.
being squandered as a house husband.
Yeah.
Do you think Octodad has a job? Like, he's always in a suit.
No, I think he's taking time 24/7 for his kids.
He's a homemaker. Coupled with interpretive dance.
But yeah, so that was that was funny. And shout out to the guy in the museum who recognized my voice and was like, "Hey, wild question. Do you have a YouTube channel?" I'm like, "Yep, that's Red over there." And he was like, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah.
I highly
They
doubt
always
that's
start
what
with,
he
"Hey, this is a really weird question," but
Yep.
it's like, "Yep."
Yeah.
Yep, you found me.
And it was really funny. One guy, like this older dad, came up to me because he heard me like talking about things
fascism.
like in between the rooms, and was like, "Hey, like, do you think that architect was like a sympathizer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he was all in the program, dude." I think he's a little more than a sympathizer.
Oh, my family can't leave because I blocked the path with popcorn. That sucks for them.
Someone says he's an Octafans model. This thing's going to blow me one trumpet. That's funny. That's a great anti-meme.
That could be an ASDF movie number 37 or whichever one we're on now.
Yeah.
I don't want to replay this now.
No, thank you. I'm good. Thank you.
Quit.
I am okay.
Yeah. There are 2 additional levels that we can do.
Secret levels.
Go to shorts.
In the
There you go.
levels.
Dad romance.
Oh, I don't... Okay.
I mean, we can also just be done.
No, it's fine.
Do you want to be done?
Well, maybe you should
No,
play
we're
them.
doing this for a good cause.
Okay, here, I'll play.
Which, as a reminder, the good cause is the Ehlers-Danlos Society. The reason we're raising money is because May is EDS and HST Awareness Month. Sorry. I got stuck thinking on what possibly dad romance could entail.
I'm sure it's a first date with your wife or
Yeah,
girlfriend
totally.
at the time.
But if you're already a dad, then, you know, never mind.
That's true. Maybe it's just a date night. Maybe you and your wife are going on a date night.
We're supposed to bribe the
I
dude?
was searching the jackets for cash.
Shit. Anyway, but EDS is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and HSD is hypermobility spectrum disorder. And the reason we're raising money, well, I mean, I guess Octodad has some money. The reason we're raising money is because the Ehlers-Danlos Society helps fund research and education initiatives to increase care and access to care for people with EDS. They're a really great resource for those of you who, if you're curious if you might have EDS or you know someone who does and want to learn more, it's a really great set of resources. I would also mention that I have EDS, so part of the reason we do this fundraiser in May is because I do have EDS, and it's nice to kind of give back. My diagnosis process, like many people with EDS, was a bit convoluted, so you generally don't get someone looking at you with EDS and going, hey, I think you have this rare genetic condition. It usually ends up coming from patients, and one thing you're often told as a patient with a rare disease is that you're your best advocate. You shouldn't have to be, but it's true. You are. So, you know, as someone who has to be my biggest advocate, not that Blue doesn't do a great job also fighting doctors for me, shout out, you know, I figure another great way to be my biggest advocate is to help raise money for a cause that impacts me personally. So that's why you're supposed to act casual, not dance. So that's why we're raising money today. Thank you to everyone who's donated so far. Thank you for everyone who donated to get Blue to play co-op with me and then to let me eat my food. Appreciated.
Yeah.
Blue is currently playing right now. As you can tell, he's being super casual.
Super casual.
But yeah. Miwin MCAS, yes, also mast cell. That was also a hell of a time to get diagnosed. But yes, money for the zebras. In case you were wondering why the EDS Society and EDS in general, as well as many rare diseases, use the zebras, because there's a common saying in the medical field that when you see, when you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras. And while that is, nice job. While that is, you know, a useful phrase, I think, to tell new doctors, it also can be weirdly harmful for those of us who actually have the zebra disease.
Yeah, because, hey, zebras do exist, boss.
They really do. This is off topic, actually, but I remember someone mentioning House MD earlier.
Yes.
Have a running thing that I tell people, which is you can tell the difference between different kinds of doctors and those who decide they wanted to be doctors because they watched Grey's Anatomy, because they watched, like, ER, or because they watched House MD. Because the House MD doctors, and no offense if that's a show you really liked, but the House MD doctors tend to go along with Dr. House's theory of everything is easily explainable, and also every patient lies.
Every patient lies, and I, the Turbo Chad Mega Genius doctor, automatically know what's going on, and if they say it's something else, it's because they're a liar and they're embarrassed. Which is an incredibly harmful idea to perpetuate in the medical field. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm splaining here.
No,
but,
you're
like,
good. First of all, don't lie to your doctors. If, like, there's generally not a good reason. They're not going to narc on you. They just want to help you. But besides that fact, most patients aren't lying, and patients who have a weird set of symptoms aren't lying because I don't know why, especially for women, people seem to think that, oh, they have weird, unexplainable symptoms. It's either anxiety or they're lying.
Yeah, you can't trust these bitches. They just want attention to treat their medical disorders. I mean,
yeah. So, you know, like to always shout that out as well, but with all this stuff, yeah, well, there's a reason that line of thinking only works for House. Yes, that reason is that it's a television show.
Yeah, he's a Sherlock Holmes analog, so of course he's going to be right.
But yeah, so, you know, I think there's definitely, having known some people who did go to medical school and did, you know, you've just recently learned about all these rare things and you want to, like, see if it could be this, and there is a time and a place to rule out the more common things first. But I also think it's very important that if, especially any of you who are thinking of going into the medical field, that you realize that just because something isn't common doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
We're casual over here. Oh my god.
Or wait, someone did also point out, yes, you know, you should lose weight. I don't think that's going to fix my collagen. Oh, well, it might. You can try. It's like, oh, I really don't think that's gonna. Yeah, someone said House has plot armor. Indeed. So yeah.
As a writer's room, he's got plot armor. That is not true of most of your doctors. I'm pretty sure they don't have
most of your doctors are not the main character of reality. That guy's busily been isekai in Narnia fighting an evil deity for several decades, so like he can't be your doctor. This is some other guy.
The biggest boon I got from my diagnosis process was my psychiatrist saying, this doesn't seem like a mental illness, I think you should see an MD, because I could use it to shut everyone up about but anxiety. Indeed. I do have anxiety. I have an anxiety diagnosis. I've had one for a very long time. So it's very useful to have a psychiatrist be like, oh, yeah, no, that's not causing your physical symptoms. I'm like, oh, really?
This is not a thing that anxiety can do to you.
Really?
It might be a thing that
more.
makes you anxious.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. It's a real vicious cycle, because if you say, like, oh, that's because of anxiety, it's like, yeah, if I have a medical issue that has no treatment, I'm going to be freaking the fuck out about it, and it's probably going to make me feel worse in general about everything. And it's like, well, would you say it's making you anxious? Then maybe, actually, the anxious is making you that.
I think you have to
you reverse the causality, clear somebody out.
Am I anxious and is that making me sick, or am I anxious because I am sick is a vicious cycle. Yeah.
Why is he doing this to me?
How did this happen to me?
Even though I ask, I don't
sometimes
want to know.
they're also incredibly funny. Maybe this is too specific of a situation, but like I didn't go to the doctor for many years, and then I finally got around to finding a primary care physician, and it was super stressful because I was like, oh my god, what if they don't believe that women can be things, you know? What if this is a problem? And I ended up finding someone really great, and I knew that she was the doctor for me. My mother passed away from cancer, and so I have to give that as part of my familial history. And usually when you say that, doctors and nurses very kindly react with a lot of sympathy, like, oh my gosh, that's so terrible, I'm so sorry. And I'm at the point in my life where I would very much just like to say that and move on. And this doctor did not even stop looking at the screen where she was typing in my patient history. She just said, not to me, to herself, oh, that's sad. And then she would move
Miled away.
Told me on a doctor faster than being like, yeah, that is how I would like to approach this as well, actually.
Alexa, that sucks. Play Despacito.
Yeah, damn, that's rip.
Yeah, she's still my primary care physician. I love her. So
have to pay respects. Anyway, anything else I should know about?
Yeah, basically.
I will say Blue and I have the same PCP, who's awesome. She's an NP and really great at her job. So great, in fact, that they're now moving her to the admin side. And I really appreciate that, because she's helped me a lot with my diagnosis, with getting meds in order. For a while, she was my acting psychiatrist and GI doctor when, like, during COVID, things couldn't get prescribed because I couldn't get an appointment. So she's truly amazing. But she's moving to admin, and she kind of looked and she's like, I'm keeping you on. I'm like, oh, thank God.
You're coming with me. Get in the trunk.
Yeah.
She also actually has another EDS patient, so every so often I'll be like, hey, yeah, this is a thing, and she'll be like, oh, that's good to know, and like mention it to the other patient, or the other patient will mention something and she'll mention it to me. Really great. When you find that good PCP, oh, amazing.
This hospital has 2 zebras.
It really
if you're
does.
fortunate to be in an area where you can kind of like within your insurance. I mean, the U.S. obviously, I'm don't want the whole
Yeah.
our insurers and stuff. But if you can like shop around a little bit for your doctor, it's okay. In the same way, like going to different therapists and being like, oh, I didn't connect with this, then I'm gonna try someone else. That's also a valid strategy for your PCP if you have the freedom to do so. Like,
For sure.
if you don't connect with someone and you have another person in network, you kind of have a doctor out. It's totally valid.
Yeah. I've had really good experiences with the doctors I've been just seeing for like general checkups recently, which is kind of nice because like it's funny. The thing about weight is like a major thing. I am heavier than I look, and a lot of it is probably just because like I seem to build muscle a lot faster than a lot of people I know, but also some of it is just I've got some squish. So numerically speaking, my BMI has always been high, even at the time in my life when I've been the absolute healthiest I've ever been. And I only learned this by checking my chart at one point before I went in. It's like, oh, technically speaking, my doctor's like, oh yeah, you know, by the numbers you classify as obese. But none of my doctors have ever recommended that I lose weight. They're like, you're fine. Eat more fish, maybe. Which I thought was just like really, no, seriously. They're like, okay, yeah, more fish and maybe more broccoli in your diet. That's fine. Have fun. Like you're basically healthy. Maybe take more walks. Okay, you're good. And like, you know, it's a thing on my chart, and it just, you know, they were like, you're fine. It was another thing. Like when I was getting weighed, they were like, if you want to look away from the scale, like if that's something that would upset you, it's like, I don't. But thanks for thinking of that. Actually, like you know, because for a lot of people who've had like disordered eating in the past. You know, weighing themselves might be something that has a lot of like really bad things bound up in it, and they were just like, if you don't want to see this, that's fine.
Yeah, sorry. I was gonna just say along the lines of that, like, this is also just your reminder that not every doctor needs your weight. Like, your PCP, if you go to a GI like I do, they probably need it. But like, if you're at the dermatologist and they're like, "Can we get a weight on you?" You're allowed to say no.
Yeah, they don't really need to know that. It's like, well, how much skin do you have? I don't know, doctor, you tell me.
Just take a look.
Just take a look. But yeah, get a doctor who makes you feel comfortable. And if you can shop around, do shop around. Because seriously, you don't need to be made miserable by, you know, the people who are supposed to be making your life better.
Funny story about one of my former doctors. I don't have them anymore, but I found him to be a bit of a blowhard because he went to the Harvard Medical School and all of the stuff in his office was, look at me, I went to Harvard Medical School. And I got the sense that he was kind of like an iffy doctor in the first place. Like, he came highly recommended enough, but he seemed like he was more impressed with himself than with, like, the patients he was treating. He had an interest in history, and I realized that he was not going to be a good doctor for me because we got to talking about, like, various, like, books we'd read recently, and he was like, yeah, I read this new, like, something or other, like, retelling of the Iliad. It's called Song of Achilles. I thought it was pretty trash. And I'm like, oh, your opinions are dog shit? Because if you think that Song of Achilles is trash, I can do a little bit of, like, logicking out what other things you might also think and conclude that I do not want you as my doctor.
I can excuse the Harvard Medical School ego, but I draw the line at dissing Song of Achilles.
No, but like the way he was like, oh, it's just like he's ruined the original. It's like, oh, so you probably also don't super vibe with gay people? Is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Because like the way he talked about it was like, yeah, okay, I see your game.
It's a little sus, a little suspicious.
I did see something funny in the chat that basically was just a reminder that if you're searching, you should search for a PCP, not where can I find PCP.
Yeah, yes, important, very important.
This is a very important distinction.
Why can I not eat this salad?
Sorry, did that have anything to do with the PCP, or was this an unrelated observation?
No, this isn't the game.
Also, Cleo has arrived. She is sitting next to us.
I'm trying to eat the fucking salad.
Did this
there are a lot of great
happen
doctors
to
out
me?
there with a little bit of a, you know, I wish everyone could just immediately find the perfect doctor for them easily and have it be covered by their insurance and everything. But if it does take you, you know, a person or two to figure it out, you'll find it eventually and get the care you need.
Also,
oh my gosh.
it's
and sometimes it's great when they just say that sucks, dude, and you move on.
Yeah, you know, it's also here. I'm giving all of you blanket permission to just stop seeing a doctor. I know it feels really weird. And I know everyone's like, oh, you should keep going because, like, they know you. It's okay. If you don't like them, if they make you feel uncomfortable, if you don't feel listened to, you can just find someone new.
Yeah, you should continue seeing a
doctor.
doctor. But you have
Seeing
permission.
doctors.
Yeah. You should continue seeing
Get your,
doctors.
get your annual checkup. Yeah.
You have permission to stop seeing a particular doctor if, for instance, their media opinions are shit and probably also mask some deeper biases about anti-femininity and anti-gay.
But also, it doesn't need to be anything huge. So, for example, I had a therapist who I liked well enough, but every time I talked about my chronic illness, issues related to that, or any sort of medical trauma, she would just say, like, oh my god, that's so terrible. And I'm like, yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
How
can
do
you help
I
me get
deal
through
with
it,
that?
maybe?
They're like, well, it is a really bad thing. I'm like, yes, no, thank you. I'm aware of that. And like, she was a great person and honestly a really good therapist, but she was just not the right fit for me.
Yeah. I think a lot of therapists kind of struggle when, like, your pain and problems are, like, a real ongoing thing rather than, like, a bad thing has happened and it is still haunting me and I need to learn to move past it. It's like, what do I do when this thing keeps happening and sucks every time? It's like, I don't know, that's scary.
That, like, a lot of different therapists do have different specialties as well.
Yeah.
Like, that is a very good point that, like, I think the most common one you're going to encounter is event happens and then how do I deal with the trauma of that or the after effects. But, like, there are therapists who specialize in treating more ongoing, whether it's ongoing, like, chronic medical issues or whatever it is that you want to discuss that's more ongoing in your life. It's just a simple matter of, quite literally, break up with your therapist and find a new one.
Yeah. Also, like,
let him down gently.
If anyone is in the market for a therapist who's, you know, really good at handling complex ongoing issues, check your local hospital or someone who works alongside your local hospital, because generally therapists that work with, say, medical professionals or with patients who are inpatient for extended periods of time are generally pretty well versed in this kind of thing.
Yeah, it makes sense because, like, the general rule of thumb is that nobody goes to a hospital because they're having a notably good day, you know? Yeah. Almost everyone in a hospital is having probably one of the worst days of their life while they're there. And that can be tough. That can be rough on the nerves. You know, there's a reason why, like, people in hospitals are usually, like, kind of not the most personable to be around. It's because it's really hard to be, like, you know, chill and fun when you are having one of the worst days of your life. And, you know, any medical professional kind of has to be able to deal with people who are having one of the worst days of their life.
Yeah. As a side note, if you want your medical professional, who is generally nice, or you're in the hospital and you want them to really like you, just say thank you. It's honestly such a game changer when you, like, do something and, like, patients are like, yeah, thanks, it was great seeing you, or it was good to meet you. It's like, oh my god, they're so nice. And obviously, I'm not saying, like, you as the patient have to be the kind person in a situation where, like, you're really having a bad day. But if, you know, you're, say, in the hospital because they won't let you leave because you were inpatient on a Friday and they won't discharge you on the weekend, and you're feeling up to it, it's okay to just be like, thanks for your help. Really feels nice.
Yeah.
I had a similar journey going to find a hairdresser because I was trying to find someone who would just simply not talk to me for the duration of my haircut. I only started getting my haircut recently. I found the best lady. We talk about our cats for 5 minutes while I'm getting my don't speak for the rest of the appointment. It's awesome. I love her so much.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, I love my hairdresser so much because I go in and she's like, okay, what are we doing? I'm like, I like that it's long, but it's really heavy. And she's like, I can work with that. Whereas I feel like I've gone in the past, they're like, show me a picture of what you want your hair to look like. I'm like, oh no. Also, thank you everyone for all your donations.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Anonymous,
Yeah.
Nadine, another anonymous.
Damn, anonymous up here with the donations.
Anonymous on a roll today. Yeah.
Whoa, holy hell, anonymous.
Now.
Oh, whoa! 1,000 from anonymous. Dang. Anonymous really is on a roll
So
today.
I guess we have to play the medical mess.
We're playing medical mess in co-op. Let's fucking go. Thank you, Anonymous. Wow.
Thank you, Anonymous.
That reminds me.
Yeah.
Yes, Red.
No, sorry. Oh, well, it's just that, so apparently they've been making 3D animated Asterix adaptations for a while, and I didn't know. And there's a new one on Netflix, which is like a little mini-series adapting the big fight. And it's just, I don't know, like the running gag in the Asterix comics is that any word that ends in the letters US can be a Roman name, and any word that ends in the letters IX can be a Gaulish name. So, like, there's a character who showed up called Anonymous, and so my brain's just like, wow, I can't believe that Gladiator's donating so much. This is great.
goes to the
And any word that ends with an A can also be a female Roman's name. So there's a character named Metadata in the new one, and like Julius Caesar keeps calling her by the wrong name, including Wikipedia at one point. I was just like, damn.
Yeah. So as a reminder, for crossing the 2000s threshold, Blue and Cyan are doing co-op of this. A great example of what to watch out for in your doctor if you be an octopus, perhaps. Give him a chance, you know? He's just an honest, hardworking
I'm a normal doctor.
Patient records are
Who can trust me with your organs?
There we go.
I'm gonna put 5 minutes on the timer, and we are going to do a lightning round. So drop your suggestions for media properties and whatnot in the chat. The way we were doing this last time was just whoever saw one that they wanted to say something about, just kind of shouted it out. So have at it, team, and I'll put 5 minutes on the clock starting now.
Good morning,
Hell
Mr.
yeah.
Nurse.
We've had one, yes.
What does she need help with?
Much trouble. Would you mind fluffing my pillow and
Turning off the television and fluffing your pillow.
You know, it's a funny trope where
You
whenever
don't
it's
have
like
a
the
pillow.
characters are in a tough situation, it's usually like, how can we make this worse? Also, the characters need to deliver a baby. So I'm glad that's not what's happening in this one.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's still time.
Patient
I have
201
seen most
doesn't
of
have a
Cornetto.
pillow. Oh, there it is. It's on the floor
Good
behind
movies,
her.
I think.
Gideon the
Shaun
Ninth
of
is
the
getting
Dead,
named
probably
dropped a
my
lot.
favorite of them.
I've read Gideon the Ninth and Hero the Ninth and Nona the Ninth. It's good. When we were in Italy, I saw a copy of Nona the Ninth that was in Italian, so it was called Nona la Nona, which was very
Which
funny.
I'm sure the author would have loved.
Oh, I'm sure she signed off on that shit. Symbionic Titan, I watched it. I wish there was more of it.
Speaking
Sadly,
of
there
the
was
Generator
not.
Rex era, yeah.
Yeah, it was also similar to Generator X. I can see why it didn't get a foothold. Like, I like it a lot, but that doesn't mean it would have been, you know, for everyone.
Okay, it's
Give
fluffed.
me some donuts from the waiting room, please.
No,
Here's
okay.
some money to buy them.
Why does no one have
Peanuts.
left arm?
For 201.
Donuts.
Oh, I'm
I forgot the Gaulish character named Netflix. Yes, that was very funny.
I think it's down here in the cafeteria. Right.
Is Mortal Engines the one
Super
about
Robot
the
Monkey
moving
Team
cities?
Hyperforce
Yes.
Go has an incredibly memorable theme song where they just say the words Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go over and over again. And I don't really remember too much of the show, but I know
Super Robot Monkey Team
lot of it
Hyperforce Go.
Dragon Age fucking slaps. I only just got into Dragon Age. I feel incredibly late to the party, but Inquisition and Veil fun games for very different reasons, and I wish that I had the console to play the first two games because they seem incredibly
here we
awesome.
go.
But unfortunately, I am a PlayStation and Switch only girly at the moment. But yeah, love Dragon Age.
I've been reading Absolute Superman, and it's good, but Absolute Wonder Woman is the one that's leading the pack. It's the really good one.
Cyberpunk 2077, also a great RPG game. Love me some Cyberpunk.
I tried, but it didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Do we need to
You
get money?
should let Keanu Reeves into your
need
brain.
money.
It will go well for you.
What nurse are we robbing?
Great question.
What's limes?
Wasn't American Born Chinese based on a comic book?
Yes.
Or am I forgetting this? Because I think I read that one, but I might be confusing it.
I think it actually might have been a book because I remember my 7th grade teacher started teaching it the year after us, so I think it came out like right after, or at least it caught the eye of the curriculum shortly.
The Wild Robot was a very
Patient has
sweet animated
money.
movie
Thank you, Adam.
last year,
Patient
and
has
I liked it a lot when I saw it. But also, a friend of mine worked on the sound for The Wild Robot, credited under
Wow. Nice.
studio where he was at, did a lot of the recording for the movie, which was very, very cool.
Patient
So it's a
201.
fun movie to check out. It's very, very pretty.
I thought The Wild Robot was completely charming, with a bizarrely star-studded voice cast.
Yeah, in the way that a lot of animated that end up getting in that category, at the very least.
Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows is a great show. I only watched through all of it. The Jackie Daytona episode
just
might
have
be the
to
most
shake
perfect
the thing.
episode of television ever made.
Must be the
Truly,
most
like no one has
devious
ever done it like that.
New York.
Two vampires getting really into like a girls volleyball team, very earnestly, just being like, "No, we want this team to succeed," is an
almost there.
incredible hook for an episode. If you watch nothing else of What We Do in the Shadows, skip the movie, skip every other episode, just watch the Jackie Daytona episode. It genuinely maybe a perfect 40-ish minutes of television.
Wow, high praise.
Yeah, it's so good.
This doesn't feel right, but okay.
No, it doesn't.
I haven't seen Andor Season 2 yet, but now that it's
Oh,
finished,
you
I
go
will.
on.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
What Star Trek have you watched? Oh boy, okay, Indigo, you and me. Let's
I've
bounce.
watched
Yeah,
TNG and original series.
Yeah.
Original series, TNG, basically everything in the TNG era. So you know the Deep Space Nine and Voyager.
Voyager,
I have
yeah.
a love for Voyager, even though it's objectively not the best one of them.
Oh, Voyager
Don't
is
think I
very
watched it.
charming. DS9 is far better, but Voyager has like funner highs, you know? DS9 is so
Yeah.
serious all the time.
I
Voyager
still
will just
hold
throw
that.
shit at the wall to see what sticks, and Deep Space Nine is actually a well-structured show that has. These are the two ways that you can have your Star Trek.
I will
Yeah.
say I really do still like the original series because nothing can beat the dumb special effects.
There's a
it
very
has its
special
charm.
place in my heart for the original series. It is not objectively good most of the time, but oh, it's so sincere.
This person not needing.
I've watched a little Lower Decks as well, which is very, very good. It's probably my favorite Star Trek. I've been meaning to go through Strange New Worlds. I haven't gotten to it just yet. And of course, all of the movies. I think I've seen every Star Trek movie.
Wow. I've seen, I watched the motion picture semi-recently, and I quite liked it. I know that when it came out, it wasn't very well liked. My dad derisively described it as where Nomad has gone before, because it's the plot of an episode of Star Trek where a thing called Nomad shows up and turns out to be a probe from Earth. But I liked it, and they released like an HD remaster of it last year or something, which I thought was very charming. I've seen the second one where they save the whales. No, sorry, I've seen the fourth one where they save the whales, and the second one where it's Khan. I liked Khan. I mean, everyone likes
Dad,
Khan.
ASMR cranial nerve exam, punching the patient in the face.
Yeah.
You didn't have a
well, that's-
concussion. You do now.
Yeah, that's time on the lightning round. But yeah, just to continue the Star Trek conversation, because I think a lot of us like Star Trek on this call.
Hell yeah.
Lower Decks is probably my favorite new Star Trek I've seen in a while, because it feels like a real love
Oh,
letter
right,
to
around.
Trek in a way that not everything always does. Like sometimes, like the J.J. Abrams movies, I think do capture the aesthetic and vibe of a Star Trek movie, but Lower Decks feels like it was written by and produced by people who actually really, really loved the kind of janky, weird middle child era of Star Trek, and I think that it's very charming. It's just genuinely a good show. I would recommend that if anyone is
grab a
looking to
red pen,
get
you
into
can
Star Trek.
get
It's
the
a
other
good
one.
place to jump in.
By the time we got to Beyond, I think that the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies had like understood what there was about Star Trek that people liked. But early movies kind of felt like they were sort of trying to fix it a little bit, where it's like,
Sure.
what if we made Spock heterosexual? You know, weird shit like that. But
I feel like I end up coming down on J.J. Abrams in a weird spot, because I think that, like, more so than a lot of directors and producers, he can get the aesthetic vibe of an adaptation better than just about anyone. Like, he can really nail making something look like a Star Wars or look like a Star Trek. But it does not necessarily mean that he is the best writer-director when it comes to actually putting a plot into that movie. So, like, I think his first Star Trek movie is a completely serviceable and, like, earnest attempt at making, like, this is Star Trek, even if it doesn't nail every single detail of it. And then it's when it gets funkier afterwards that you gotta start looking at it a bit more.
I think the first one is
understand what you're
fine. The second one is genuinely poor, and then the third one is genuinely good. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much. But yeah, Lower Decks does rip. I gotta get. I'm behind on it, but I want to catch up. One of these days, I'll sit and just go through all of it probably.
I enjoyed the parts of Lower Decks I've seen. Not much of it, but sometimes it shows up on one of the Star Trek Pluto TV channels, so I just catch an episode or two. Yeah.
Nothing like going on to Pluto TV and just seeing it's on. Right.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
Melon.
I recently purchased half of a watermelon
book?
from
That's a book.
Acme, and it truly, like, I have not eaten just a piece of watermelon in so long. It really felt awesome. I can't recommend eating fruit enough, you guys.
Guys, fruits
No,
and
you know,
vegetables
sometimes
are
it
so
do be
good.
that simple. Yeah.
Sometimes, like, truly, nothing has made me feel more like a person than eating on a summer. No, actually, it turns out that fruit works. Fruit can heal you.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
My IV looks low. Change it
Perhaps
already.
a fruit would cause less despair.
Yeah. Perhaps actually I should be hydrated and eat all of the food groups.
Crops
Maybe that
watered?
will. I had a very similar
Skin
experience. I
clear.
recently purchased for myself a reusable water bottle because I had my old one just like disappeared into the ether a couple moves ago, and I hadn't got a new one in a while because I haven't really been doing any sports or anything that required me to carry water around. I work from home, so I'm just using cups.
Right.
The amount of hydration that I have gotten. It's been insane.
The phone rings.
Straight up hydration maxing.
And on the phone is Dad's long
Well,
lost
on the subject of
brother.
brain rot
Dad's long-lost
destroying your
brother.
vocabulary.
Lost brother, I've got terrible news for you. One of your patients is going into cardiac arrest.
The main running gag I have with my sister nowadays is just like describing things as a grind set. You know, your network is your net worth kind of shit. It's just very funny to us because that whole thing is very goofy and frankly kind of embarrassing. But like, her favorite angle on it was the ingenue grind set, which is like 5 a.m. wake up, 5:30 a.m. get diagnosed with vapors and get sent to the seaside for your health. At some point you gotta like wander the moors in a skimpy nightdress, you know, give yourself pneumonia, gotta block in the fainting.
But suddenly, Dad
oh no,
faced
he's
the most fearsome
Oh
challenge.
no. Is my mic cutting out for you guys? I'm seeing some notes in the
And you
chat.
were a little bit,
Yeah.
but you've sounded pretty smooth over the last couple minutes. But
Okay, I suspect it's probably my internet chat. I apologize. Battery operator. It's not
Oh.
that. Oh, is it happening again?
very slightly, we lost a syllable there.
Alright, well we're approaching the end of the stream, so I'm not going to start my setup at this point, but if it becomes intolerable, please let me know. I apologize,
Yeah.
chat.
There we go.
That guy's dead.
He's fine. Oh dear. Now we're gonna do some stretching. This is a Thai style massage where you get the stretching done in the
Oh
middle
my
of it.
god. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to get him on to the prep room on the gurney.
That is
Are we
fine.
malpracticing in this stream?
No, this is an imagined story by our kids.
Oh, thank goodness.
Ah.
Give him anesthesia. Please tell me that's
We
not
can use the hammer.
No.
I think you should use the hammer.
I think you should just go get him on the gurney.
Nope.
Oh my god, you have to use the hammer. Is that the only option? No, there's nitrous right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. it's
Kids know what
poison.
nitrous is?
Aw.
Kids are like, give him the nos.
I
Oh,
don't
they can go real fast.
I don't think you can use the waste syringes. I think you need to find the non-waste syringe.
Oh, they're not gonna let you do that level of malpractice.
I think
Oh
it's
my
just
god,
that
I've been
Kids
stuck.
aren't gonna let you. You kids aren't gonna let this guy. You give this guy Hep C. That's nice.
I've told you guys this story about my dumb sex ed teacher. There it is, right there. Who,
Yes,
when
you
I
didn't
told
know
him
about the
there,
different types of-
yeah, there were different types of hepatitis. He thought there was only Hep C, and I was like, no.
They jumped straight to C because actually the C stands for cripes. This one's bad, guys.
Jinkies.
Great snakes.
Page Dr. Nigel.
Nigel Thornberry.
No way.
Thornberry.
Oh, there it is.
I don't remember that and Rugrats crossover movie. Or is it just me?
Oh, sure. When I was in college, I did tech for one of the theater clubs just for funsies. That's how I got to build the Audrey 2 puppet, which was probably the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. But every year we would do what we called tech show. It's where the actors would do tech and the techies would all have to act, and someone would write like the most like half-assed 30-minute version of like a that everyone had seen that year, and that would be the show that we would do. And the year I did it, it was the Rats, I think, in Paris or Take Paris, or whatever it is.
Rugrats in Paris. I remember this.
Yes. I played the baby. I got to roll around in a wheelie chair the entire production. Dill. I wore a Spider-Man onesie because none of the actors who were teching had given me a proper costume, so I just went to Target and got the first onesie I could find. It was super, super
I think
fun.
we
I didn't
had
have
one.
any lines. Yeah. It was pulled together. But it's a good time. It's always fun to do those little like. I think that's what I miss most about being in any sort of theatrical club is the things where you would just kind of fuck around and find out a little bit. You know, you do one-act festivals and all that kind of business where you're just playing with the storage of infinite props and trying to see what shows you can put together in a weekend. We also did 2 shows for that. You would do
You have to press the button.
one where you perform it in earnest around like 6 p.m. And then everyone would go and get completely sloshed, and we would do a midnight drunk version of the show.
Oh wow.
my role didn't change much. Again, I had no lines, and all I had to do was wheeled around on the Black Box Theater stage and pretend to be a baby. So it was pretty easy.
Right.
But some people really struggled through that second version.
Oh god, I stabbed him.
A bone saw? It's under the guy's leg, I think.
Bone saw is ready.
No, that's not a bone saw. That's a skull.
Well, consider they can't sue you for malpractice if they are dead. Just saying, there's always a way out.
Well, I mean, people do still use bone saws, but, like, not usually from the waste bin.
No, that feels
Gotta
like
sterilize
a
the
bad
bone
plan.
saw.
No. We do not. Isn't he supposed to be having a heart attack? Do we use bone saws for heart attacks?
No. No, unless they have to
Are you gonna
open
try to
heart
get in there to
surgery.
massage his heart? Because I feel like first you should probably do, like, the zappy thing, you know?
A week after my last story. Sports Johnson of the zombie hurricane.
Now, do you think Octodad is a better or worse doctor than Dr. House?
Well,
Still
does
somehow
Octodad have
better.
the writing on his side?
Well, I guess Octodad's a better robot doctor.
So now the surgery can begin.
You're supposed to...
Oh, for some reason I hadn't looked at the screen yet. You're doing surgery on a robot.
He just changed a second ago.
Well, he only just became a robot.
Wait, he became a robot?
Yes.
You have to clear the chest
Revealed
cavity.
one.
You gotta take all this
This
shit
was a
out.
guy before?
Yeah,
Wow.
because no, this is an imagined story by our kids, so they're like, oh, and actually the man was a robot.
Wow.
You know, that's a really funny way to get around having you actually get all up inside a human body.
Yes.
It's like, oh, what if he was a robot and just looked like he had a rib cage and organs?
He has an organ. That's a heart right there.
Yeah, the original draft of this level was a very graphic live birth.
Bad and wrong.
Wipe Nigel's forehead. With what? Your arm?
Uh-oh.
The real question is, are you going to have to put all this stuff back?
Oh.
You gotta pay extra for that. You know, in this economy.
Oh, sure, sure.
It's self-service.
And then all his arms and legs go all over the place.
Heart!
Oh, he's sad.
No. This is also the same time as the Surgeon Simulator games were popular.
Yeah,
That's
we're...
true. I remember those. Like the knee surgery.
It's really weird.
and-
It hadn't even occurred to me that this era of gaming had kind of ended, but it
Oh,
really
yeah.
has.
Yeah.
You know, not with a bang, but a whimper, I guess.
Reattach the robot's limbs that fell off for whatever reason.
who did that? Couldn't be me.
Yeah. Because, like, these kinds of games still exist. We got Goose Game in 2020, as mentioned, but I feel
That's
like
true.
it's
Duck
rare that they...
Detective.
Duck Detectives, yeah. I feel like it's rare that they become, like, hits as big as, like, a game like this was when it came out.
Yeah. I feel like a little bit of it is like saturation of it. 'Cause it's not that there aren't other games, but now it's like Goose Game became a big hit in virtue of being very well crafted. Like, I think it really captured the spirit of the game where the goal is just to be as silly as possible.
Yeah.
You know, like it really is. Letting the player choose just how silly they want to be, or how malicious if you are, you know,
Yeah.
a nest. But like Little Kitty Big Cities in a similar oeuvre where it's like, okay, you are a little creature and now you're going to be as silly as you, the player, want to be. But like Duck Detective, for example, like it's a silly game, but you, the player, are going to be as silly as the game wants you to be, because there's not really a way to not be silly in that game, if that makes any sense.
Same
And I
with
feel
this
like
game.
Octodad is, yeah, in the oeuvre of like, you are going to be silly, and you can earnestly try to be as least silly as possible if you want to, but the controls of the game are working against you. And that's not necessarily always true in some entries into the silly genre.
I genuinely do wonder how much of it was just like, how much of this genre was just based on what Markiplier and Jacksepticeye were playing that week, you know?
I mean, there is a huge element of, like, these games are really funny when you get funny people playing them. I mean, they're
Yes.
funny on their own, but, like, as a game to
Hey,
watch.
chat, are
like-
we funny?
Yeah, hey chat.
Sound off, you're being watched.
Sound off. Yeah.
Unicornitis from
Yeah.
that alien lady, and the only cure for unicornitis
What's
is
the communal experience of playing the
jet
game,
skis.
right? Like it's the co-op,
So we bought
you know,
us
sitting
some
on your
sweet
couch with your buddy,
jet
both of you being
skis.
that is
end.
sillier experience even than just like the one person playing it. And streaming does in many ways sort of like recreate the co-op experience, or at least as close to it as you can get with a game that might be single player, like Goose Game, for example.
Yeah.
All right.
And we have completed
Yeah, it's
all
fucking
the missions.
destroying us.
We done it. We done did it.
No, oh my god.
Thank you all
Yeah.
so much.
We're getting fucking just decimated in there. We shouldn't have asked.
No,
That's
frowny
something-
face, in parentheses, yes.
3 out of 5. Oh.
Da 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 da. Okay, so there's 4 of us plus the 2 cats. Which are the 3 that are funny?
Oh god.
I haven't been
worse.
funny today, I'll take the fall.
The cats
we
are
going off
definitely
the
one of
island?
them.
No, I'll go.
Ouch.
Yeah, devastating. We shouldn't have asked.
Devastating.
But yeah,
So have you
okay.
considered donating money to... Hey Chad, if you think we're not funny, please donate an odd amount of money to the EDS Society.
No.
And if you think we're funny, donate an even amount of money to the EDS Society.
Donate money to make this stream end faster. Absolutely. $1,000 a month, I will stop.
You fell victim to a classic blunder? Yeah.
Come on, odd team, even team, let's go. Well,
Oh wait, which was odd team?
Ember doesn't think we're funny.
Ember Phoenix with $5. Tragic.
Yeah, that's voting with your dollars.
Yeah, really vote with your money out here. Come on.
Well, I had fun today, and I hope that all of you did as well. We will
In the
be.
long run, that's really all that matters.
Yeah, we will be back.
Someone anonymous thinks we're both funny and unfunny.
Oh, we got a 10 and a 5. Wow.
Anonymous, you're destroying me here. Maybe it converts to an even amount, though.
I
Convert
don't
that
think
shit
it
into-
does.
It doesn't. It
Oh,
doesn't.
Maybe it
Anonymous
does, you
thinks
don't
we're
know.
funny. Anonymous thinks we're not funny.
Wow, this is fierce.
Over under, we are 3 out of 5 not funny right now.
Devastating. Damn.
Well,
Oh no. Wow, ouch,
Is there anything
vexed it.
funnier than being
truly the most he
voted
loves
on
me,
by
he
the
loves
chat?
me not.
Oh my god. Oh, well,
right.
Anonymous thinks we're funny.
Okay,
again.
this can go on forever. Keep donating to tell us whether or not you think we're funny. But
It's really
thank
going to
you.
be if we end on an even or odd number at the
Oh,
end of
Ephraim
the...
Man with 50. We are
Oh my God,
funny
thank
and
you.
a $50 donation.
Yay.
And then Anonymous says we're not.
Oh,
Anonymous, no.
tragic.
Well, thank you for voting with your dollar and supporting the EDS Society. We're all gonna
Hell yeah.
go cry and think about how not funny we are.
And get new material.
Not me, I'm one of the 3 that is funny.
Oh yeah, okay.
sandwiches like a god?
Surely they're not talking about me.
Next time
Surely
we're
not.
streaming, we'll probably be back on the Skyrim grind. We were
Yes.
having fun with that, but then we had travel, and I got sick twice, and then we had travel, and then
And
so
then guess
we'll
what
try
we have
to
this weekend?
more travel. So we'll try to get back on the Skyrim stream grind at some point. But until then, look forward to more regular videos up on the channel in the next few weeks. If you are a patron, you can go listen to all of our voice note memos.
Oh yeah.
For not only the Avengers in Phase 1, 6 movies of voice note memos, but there's a voice note memo for tomorrow's video, which you can go listen
forgot
to
about that.
right now. Yep. Similarly in the MCU world, but I shan't spoil it. This past month will have been the biggest volume of content that OSP has ever done, because I had the complete history of Britain, and then a detailed diatribe, and then you had the Castlevania detailed diatribe, and then there was a trope talk, and then tomorrow's, which is also 2 hours, and then
It's another detail that I tried. Spoiler alert.
4 full hours of the voice note memo files. So this is the most stuff we have ever put out on the channel in 1 month ever.
And
Yeah,
you
we
were
didn't even plan
here.
it that way. You just did the math.
Yeah.
Rated MJ really coming out here with Blue's lines.
What happened? Who said what?
Bye.
Oh, bye. Oh, yeah, from the detailed diatribes. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of hours. If you miss the streams, there's plenty else you can listen to. But everyone, say a quick goodbye, and we will sign off.
Yeah.
Adios.
Thanks for keeping me company while I drew spoilers for Chapter 5. Bye.
Thank you guys so much for all your donations. Super duper appreciate it. And thanks for letting us know we're not funny. We'll continue to not be funny next time we're on stream. Woo!
I will not improve. Bye.
I will not